Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. It's Happer and Mike.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It is Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Mike Schaefer and Joey Roicola with you this morning. Hi, guys. What's up?
Good morning, Connor, and good morning, Mike.
Okay, I think that was enough space.
I think it ended, yeah.
I think if
Some
good
people,
morning to Joey, good morning to Connor.
The bit is retired.
The bit's done.
someone wanted to retire a bit, so I decided to follow suit.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
I'll probably forget the next day.
That's all right.
How we doing today, gentlemen?
It was very hot outside yesterday.
It was. I think I had a minor heat stroke.
What were you up to?
Mowing.
Oh,
Yeah. Very simple. You know, I wanted to take it out. Like I wanted to get a couple things done, and then I just did the entire thing, and it was a mistake. It was terrible.
This is one of those when you go inside and you feel that like AC hitting you for the first time.
Yeah.
It's reminds you that you could never live in the olden times.
Yeah.
That's how I feel all the time about it.
I didn't even make a difference for me yesterday. I was just like, I think I'm going to die. And so, yeah, I'm clearly washed to just go inside, and I can't even walk around my yard for an hour and a half anymore. Sad.
I played in a golf thing yesterday that was a scramble that allegedly had teams, like 30 teams. So what? That's 6 holes where you don't have an extra group. We got done in like 4 hours and 15. Everyone was playing fast.
That's awesome.
No one wanted to be out in those elements.
Wow.
It was probably 4:30 by the time, it was the quickest scramble I think I've ever played.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Everyone on the same page of, hey, we don't need to be out here any longer than we need to be.
Good job. Good job. Yeah. I played on Saturday, and it was like similar conditions. It wasn't as sunny and temperature wise it wasn't as hot, but the humidity was super hot, and it was cart path only.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, I think we need to quit golf now. And that's just cart path only. We had carts.
No, it's just having to, whenever I end up playing cart path only or the holes that are cart path only, those are definitely the ones where I will make sure I hit furthest away from the cart path. Like it's just a law.
Yeah, right. You're not trying to. It just
works that way.
You're actually trying to do the opposite, but then it works out that way. So, yes, hopefully everybody did okay yesterday, survived. Hopefully everybody got okay getting out to Chicago. I didn't think about this as I was recording a podcast with one of our guests today, Mitch Sherman, last night. I didn't ask if he was going to be good to come on the show this morning. I assume he is.
Yeah,
considering the press conferences don't start until 10:30 this morning, so I think we're in decent shape. So we'll just call him. We'll see what happens.
You've already gotten the full story. I would love to hear more on his horrific travel day yesterday.
There's just. It doesn't happen very often. It's happened to me once in my life, but you get that plane up in the air and then they tell you can't land. And then they send you somewhere else.
There was a string of really bad storms in the Chicago area leading up to Wisconsin. It was really bad up there.
Precisely.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you want to do whatever's the safe option. It's just particularly brutal when it's like, oh, I'm going to take this 1 hour and 12-minute flight to Chicago.
That's right.
And I'll definitely not have to deal with a long travel day.
Yeah, I'll get more from Mitch on this later, but I believe the flight was supposed to take off around 11.
I think he tweeted out.
And then ended up landing in
just before 8.
Yeah, in the 8 o'clock hour, somewhere around there. Not good. Not good. But Mitch he's strong, and he'll talk to us coming up.
Get a Midway Matt update
at 8:30 this morning. Was Midway Matt there?
No, but maybe he'll bring out Midway Matt today after.
They'll find a guy named Matt at Midway.
Yeah, it could be possible.
Gotcha. The press conferences today for day 1 of Big Ten Media Days start at 10:30 this morning. It is Illinois, Iowa, Penn State, Rutgers, USC, and Wisconsin Day today. Tomorrow, same story, but with Michigan State, Minnesota, Ohio State, Oregon, Purdue, and UCLA. And then Thursday, when Lollapalooza starts, Nebraska is on with Indiana, Maryland, Michigan, Northwestern, and Washington. So there you go. We look forward to seeing all of our friends from the Big Ten Network, like Howard Griffith, Jerry DiNardo, and Jake Butt. They're all coming out, and you get to watch them on TV. And then I assume they do their little tour after media days.
Yeah,
right?
I think we got to be getting close to the camp tour and
straight out on tour.
Invariably,
You release an album, media days, and then you go out on tour.
Is McAfee going to be going out on tour with his new album coming out?
I don't think so. McAfee has an album?
Yeah. Oh man, you didn't know this?
No. What happened?
He is releasing an album of songs.
What do you mean songs?
I think Pat McAfee wants to be a full-fledged entertainer.
Well, I mean, he's already doing that. He doesn't have to do songs.
The Diary of a Polarizing Figure is scheduled to release August 14th, 2026. 20 years of personal songwriting addressing public scrutiny. It was recorded in Nashville.
Oh my God.
It'll probably be the music entertainment for college game day because
This is an amazing thing of which I knew of something that you did not.
This is horrible.
That falls in the category of things that nobody needs.
Wow. Well, this is like a week ago. I am blocked by Pat McAfee. So that could be
good
it.
for you.
Pat McAfee?
I think at some point, let me check and see if I still am. I'm not anymore. Oh, no, I am.
Good for you.
I still am. I still am blocked by Pat McAfee. So I can't see his tweets.
Okay. What is there a story, or are you just part of some group of people that
No idea.
people were tweeting at?
I don't know
him
what
and
happened. I've been trying to figure it out for several years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
What could I know what you're thinking. What could I have done to be blocked by someone? I'm a nice guy.
You probably have takes
I don't
on
even
punters
know.
and kickers.
Do you even have Pat McAfee public takes?
I don't believe I do.
That's the part of it that's odd to me.
Yeah. Pretty down the middle on Pat McAfee. I don't know.
Do you think it's possible that he somehow just heard your show and he's like, I just don't like this guy?
I don't think that's possible. I don't know what happened though.
I would like to get to the bottom of this.
All right. Well, maybe there's an investigative report that's coming. I did not know that there was an album coming for Pat McAfee. Well, I'm sure he's a great
I don't think
musician.
I understand why there's an album coming.
Okay.
I'll include that.
All right.
Yeah.
I wonder what the style will be.
Well, do you think it's going to be country?
Yeah, if it's recorded in Nashville, pretty good chance it's going to be country related.
Yeah, country rock.
Country rock.
So country.
All right. Set to be released August 14th, 2026.
Mark your calendars.
Wow. Just a couple weeks away. On a Friday. Maybe we can go to Nashville for our city of the day.
Oh, wow.
We already did Nashville, I think.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
I can't remember. When would we have done Nashville?
I could take a look. I think it was whenever Nebraska played Vanderbilt in March Madness. That's my guess.
I wouldn't have been in that
Let's
Friday.
see. We did it on March 20th, so around that time.
You would have been gone that day.
I would have been
I
gone.
chose Nashville. All right. So coming up today on the show, we will get you all the latest. Of course, nothing will happen at Big Ten Media Days while we are on the air today, which is new for me.
Okay.
Yeah, usually I'm used to the news just and the quotes just coming out as the show goes along. But now we have to, I guess, predict or something like that. I don't know. Probably not. So that will be starting today at 10:30 and be listening for all of the latest on that. Mitch Sherman will join the show live from Chicago coming up at 8:30. Jacob Padilla will join us to talk some Jays, hoops, and more coming up at 9:15 this morning. That is our lineup. We want to hear from you all. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at us on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer. Email us on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com.
Who's that huge guy?
Thank you, Doug. And of course, join us on our YouTube stream this morning where Tax and Gigs says, "What up, my guys? What up, Tax and Gigs?" And Kevin says, "Good morning." And nobody says Craylton. That's a new way to spell Creighton. I always thought it was spelled Crayton, like the very smart people on the internet like to do sometimes.
Yeah, that is a new one to me too.
Craylton.
And I promise you, I've seen lots of versions of Creighton misspelled
I bet
on
you
purpose.
have. I bet you
And I
have.
don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, that's a new one to me. So we will get more on Craylton coming up at 9:15.
They are spelled in the
Jacob.
form of a coloring utensil.
Yes, like a Crayola.
Yes.
Crayolton. That's new.
Which is good. Which is good.
Of course it is. It only means good things. So that is what we have coming up on the show today. Our power rankings with tiers as we put the offseason to bed, or at least this portion of the offseason to bed. Offseason topics we are sick of. And we're tiering them. So all the topics we're basically sick of, but some of them we're sick of them more than others.
I'm pretty sure I have this like in order right now of the 9 that I have. Like you had me just power rank no tiers, it would be, exactly as this exercise is intended.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm guilty of that. Sometimes not always.
Yeah, you need to actually rank them.
Yeah.
So this is what you're doing today?
I have it ranked today.
All right.
We can start. Do we want to start from the bottom tier and then work to the most annoying this time? Or do you want to start from the top?
We gotta stay true to the game, right?
All right.
I think we gotta stay true to the game. So we'll do that. Coming up at about 7:25 this morning. And of course, our guests, and we'll free ball and we'll do all of our different various balls segments and things of that nature. Off and running on a Tuesday. Glad you're with us here on Happer Schaefer on 1620 The Zone.
For your forecast, starting off the morning in the mid-70s, but warming up into the 90s by the afternoon. Couple of air quality concerns, a little bit hazy from those wildfires, but overnight tomorrow, 71 for your low and partly cloudy. I'm meteorologist Ainsley Goebel with KETV Newswatch 7.
Good luck with that, Dan.
All right, welcome back. Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Have you seen these terrible Bills new uniforms that they put out yesterday? Boy, they are awful. Terrible. They're
They're bad.
terrible.
Like, at what
They're
point during
terrible.
the creation process did they ever think that this was going to be well received?
I don't know at what point. Like, we need to probably have a complete conversation about uniforms in general and what we're doing with them
and
in
how
the
they
year-
just should be changed a lot less.
in the year 2026. I don't mind making new uniforms. I like creation. I like innovation. I like the fact that all these teams have like graphic designers now that
Sure.
they can, or designers that they can use and say, here's what we want to do with our uniforms. But why do they all turn out so bad? We are on a horrific run of jerseys right now. Think about it.
It does not look good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a good new jersey in a long, long time.
I agree with that. I'm trying to like think of.
There was the Rams one last week that I saw. Did you see the new Rams one?
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
think
I did see that one.
I mean, like, it's, and I'm a big simplicity guy. It was too simple.
Oh,
It was too simple last week with the Rams and what they did.
I know. The NFL is going to be doing the rivalry weeks or whatever jerseys they're doing for the rivalry games. I know the Vikings announced that they're going to unveil theirs for the December 20th game against Detroit.
Exciting.
I know the Packers are taking
it'll be
part
a
of
very
that.
purple shade of purple.
It'll be very purple.
not
Very,
not
very
e- not e-
purple.
not even a whiteout again. They're going to just
The whiteouts always look good.
Yeah,
Like
those
that
are cool.
actually, when they do that, it looks good. Color rush isn't terrible, but there's only so much you can do when your primary color is purple.
Here's what the Bills got cooking. If you're watching along with this on YouTube, it is a gray jersey from top to bottom. Like the base color is gray, and then the numbers aren't bad with blue numbers. The helmet is what the disaster is.
I
here.
could live with this, other than it looks a little bit too Kansas-ish, like off the face.
Yeah, I
of
You
could-
it.
really
I-
hate Kansas.
I could kind of
Oh.
I could kind of
Did you
see
see
that.
what Kansas was getting into last night?
with the court case.
No,
Oh.
with the fight in the TBT.
No,
There was a huge brawl in the TBT last
I
night.
missed the TBT brawl.
I certainly didn't watch the TBT last night, but I saw a clip.
Okay,
Oh, it was
I will
bad.
during the break. I will look for this. No, didn't they pop up like the next big court case is in Dodge City, Kansas, or something now involving Melvin Council?
Okay, I don't know.
So that's the next big eligibility. I think he's trying to get the
He's gonna
The
get the
fifth
extra year.
right.
Yeah.
But so the helmet is just awful. One, the Bills have a great logo, so I like their helmet with the logo,
And they have
actually
great
on it.
colors, and they decided to throw in gray.
Yeah, I
Never go gray. Maybe that's the lesson here. Unless it's a full road baseball uniform, never go gray. I mean, I don't like Creighton's gray uniforms that
trying
they
to think
wear
of
occasionally.
who has gone gray and it works well for it. I don't care if Oklahoma State wears gray because it doesn't matter to me that much. Like they've changed stuff enough that they don't have a consistent look to me. It's teams that like the Bills have a fairly consistent red, white, and blue look.
Mhm.
So why would you go off of that sort of, particularly that color pattern for gray or slate, as we love to call it?
Oh, slate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Or in
didn't.
this case, it's nickel to celebrate the nickel city.
I did not see their release where they pointed to all of the things and described what colors.
Oh, yeah, you
were.
love that.
I hate that part. The Buffalo Bills. Let's see if they put out an infographic on it. Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did yesterday.
All right, here we go. Hey, the Charge helmet, bringing the charging buffalo to life with the horn eye and charge streak displayed on a blue shell with a micro metallic flake finish and a metallic blue accent, boasting a mindset of energy, strength, and attack. That's what I think of when I look at those helmets. The nickel gray foundation utilizes an existing brand color, which I did not know about. I didn't know that nickel gray was a brand color that they had in their peacock of brand colors. We pull inspiration from the steel mills, grain elevators, rail yards, which are foundational to our region's place in history. Blue collar. There's a blue collar. Want to know why? Because of the blue collar people. Left chest
Amazing
charging
what they did there.
buffalo, positioned close to the heart. tone on tone striping with the exact stripe weights and ratios as our primary uniform. These tonal stripes are formed under extreme pressures as a sign of strength and durability. And then inside the collar, it says, "Go Bills," the preferred way to salute Bills Mafia out in the world, which I didn't know. I thought they would just say, I don't know. I guess that makes sense. Go Bills.
I mean, yeah, it's
Let's break a
is that
table.
like the Rams jersey. It's so simplistic that it catches you by
Go
surprise.
Bills.
Okay, so the best I can tell is they had like nickel colored or silver or gray helmets before they went to the red, white, and blue scheme. So this is like all the way back to the 1950s to 1961.
Okay, so they're trying to say it's
And then
throwback.
from there they go to a red buffalo, and then they go to the iconic red, white, and blue buffalo. And then from there, the red helmets come in the 90s, and they go back to the white helmets.
All
in
right.
the 2000s.
All right. Well, at
They
least
have a great helmet. Like
least
their
they showed their
helmet
work.
is fantastic.
their helmet is absolutely great. But they went back to a different version of it. So
Yeah.
nice job by the Bills here. Let's get to some text messages. First from Cody. Another segment of old men complaining about changing jerseys. It's not for the olds. It is for the kids. It's for the kids? Is that what this is for?
Kids look at that and they're like, "I want this."
Do they
I don't know.
Wait, we're talking about we're not talking about recruits here. We're talking about an NFL team. Like they're not recruiting anybody.
The only one that it's for is the people that have the merchandising contract.
Right.
Nobody else gains out of this.
And so someone commented in on YouTube, Bada Bing, he says, speaking of alternate uniforms, did you see that Shields, quote unquote, leaked Nebraska basketball and football uniforms, black ones, yesterday? Did you see that going around?
It
out
makes
there?
sense. They play on Halloween.
It was weird. The football ones were black with red print on it. It just it looked odd. I thought the way they did the black uniforms last year was perfect. Like that's the best possible way to do black uniforms. Take everything that was your primary color on your uniform, red in Nebraska's case, and make it black. And there's your uniform. It's done.
It's amazing how difficult it was to get to that.
It was the best one they could have possibly done.
Sure. But
And
now what if they did all of that and now it's black with red?
I just want to be able to read them and look
Won't be able to tell who's who.
and look at them without squinting. That's all it is.
Oh man.
They're bad. Those were bad. I don't know. Hopefully they'll look better in real life yesterday. But once again, add that to another on the list of terrible uniforms that we've been doing lately. Text from the 515. There are guys out there with the flat battleship gray car Camaros. Oh, I didn't know there was the gray Camaros that were flying around out there. Gus Mohawk, are they worse than the Packers or Steelers uniforms from years ago?
The Bumblebee
yes.
and
the famous terrible Bumblebee Steelers ones, and then the Packers ones with the navy and the circle in the middle.
Yeah, they're 40s, 20s, or their 20s throwbacks. They'll wear those.
Joey, just admit those suck.
I don't mind them.
Of course, he doesn't mind them.
You're not going to get him to say something negative.
I know. I wish you. I
tried.
I really thought that was a
I will
layup.
say. I will say their best uniforms they did in the last few years are the very dark forest green jerseys with the yellow helmets and yellow stripes.
Okay, I don't
Is
think I
that like
remember
the
those.
90s
No,
sort of?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was 50s or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I remember for some reason as a kid, I remember them having a deeper shade of green than they have now. I feel like they've really
that's
green
what I
over
was.
time.
That's what I was talking about.
So yeah,
I guess they did that in the
it could have
90s.
been even deeper than that for what you were saying. Looking at these Nebraska ones that Connor mentioned, this feels like on an Amazon store, someone made a fake jersey.
That's what I thought. That's why I didn't think it was real.
Or someone made it on College Football Team Builder on the video.
It very well could
It might
be.
look better on Team.
It might be real. It might not be real. I don't know. I did see that going around yesterday. I hope it's not real.
And it's very Rutgers looking.
Yeah.
Which might be a little too nail on the head at whatever point in the football season it gets
we have
unveiled.
finally devolved into Rutgers after all these years.
The spiraling has finally reached the floor.
Sad. No, I mean, and then on top of that, all that Nebraska's primary uniforms that they're using this year are objectively worse than their uniforms.
Those
that they had
stripes.
before. It's a big year for uniforms. It's a huge year for crap uniforms. I don't know what happened, but we're on a great run.
We're
right
here
now.
and we're living in it now.
Yep. Mike says gray is not for the kids. Well, apparently it is. That's what they're telling me. It's for the kids. They do uniform rebrands for the kids.
Speaking of gray uniforms, notable ones from teams in college, Ohio State, Tennessee would usually do them. Colorado's done them in the past. Washington State done them
For
several
like
times.
slate or gray.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Well,
Those-
I mean,
those-
Ohio State, it's one of their primary colors.
Yeah, it is.
I hate when
Gray.
when Ohio State wears their all grays.
Hmm.
They have them. I hate when Ohio State really goes away from anything but their regular jerseys. Their red tops or their gray. They're gray on
So
the.
like the
They
gray
have like a
with
gray.
the-
They have like a gray like silver. That's their primary uniform.
Mhm.
Like they're with the pants.
So I'm looking at these 2023s where it's like slate gray, red numbers, white outline with the helmet sticker.
those
Ugly.
terrible.
Ugly.
They're terrible.
I mean, part of the problem
They're
here is
terrible.
I kind of just want every team to look like how I remember them from 1997.
Yeah.
And if they can't look like that, then I want it to be comical. Like those are the only things I can
Well-
really get at it.
Well, we're getting a lot closer to comical.
But it's comical bad, not comical comical.
Okay.
I
guess I don't know what the difference is. When
it's probably in my own head to the point where I'm not going to be able to explain it, but
Probably.
it's bad.
Quickly here, and we could touch on this a little bit later on. I saw this list yesterday from Bill Connolly, the 100
Yeah.
games that explain college football in 2026. So basically, it's the most influential. I mean, we did Matt Rule's most influential games yesterday. The most influential games of college football ever, point blank. Period. And for the record, Nebraska's on this list a couple times. Number 8 is their destruction of Florida in the Fiesta Bowl in 1990 at the end of the 95 season, going into January of 96. The 84 Orange Bowl where Tom Osborne goes for 2 and they lose to Miami on January 2nd, 1984. Their win against Missouri in 1997 with the flea kicker. Is there another game? Of course, the game of the century in 1971 is number 69. Nice on the list. Their loss to Texas in the 1996 Big 12 championship game, Big 12 championship game is on this list at number 79. That is, I think, it for the Nebraska games. So think about that. And I think we could pour over those games, obviously, as well. But I wanted to ask you this. Obviously, nothing post Nebraska in the Big 12 era is on here. And it's interesting to sort of think about it from the perspective of you. For the longest time, you could not tell the story of college football without Nebraska. For the last 15 years, you can.
Yeah.
You have been able. What is the most is it easy? Is it the 09 Big 12 championship game that had, huge repercussions in many different ways?
Yeah,
Nebraska
so
losing to Texas that year.
Of the 2000s, the game, or just like you mentioned post Big 12.
I guess yes.
So 2009 would still be Big 12.
Since their last entrance on this list, maybe, or what?
Yeah.
I don't know. 25 years, I guess, this century. Maybe we can do that.
I'm now really stuck on it. Like your Big 10 entrant would be.
It'd be the 2012 Big 10 championship game where they got thrashed by Wisconsin.
Such a disaster.
Yeah.
And then if you're trying to even think of one that could be remotely positive, like I can't even think of how many hundreds of games would go in front of Nebraska, Michigan State 2015.
Oh my God.
Would be your standout one, or I guess.
I mean, that was 0% influential because they still got in the playoff anyway.
And so then it's, I can't. Again, there's all these ones that they've lost closely that are influenced in that, like how it might have affected some things had they won. But, that's the perfect encapsulation of Nebraska football in the 2000s. You really only exist to be the team that almost caused someone issues.
Mm-hmm.
As to any other games in the 2000s, I mean, 2009 with everything with the Big 12, I've said this before. The Texas game, I mean, watching Tom Osborne make Dan Beebe stand there so Bo Pelini could go yell at him
Great times.
about that game was like an incredible thing to witness.
Great times.
As a 20-something reporter. And then I don't know how much it matters, but it wouldn't have influenced college football necessarily, but it could have really been a boon for Nebraska if you win the last Big 12 championship game you play in
Yeah.
instead of blowing a 17-point lead.
I don't know what changes
I
after
don't
that.
either. Like, there's a part of me that wants to be like, okay, you win that, you win the Fiesta Bowl, but it's not like they lacked momentum going into 2011.
That's why
they
I
just got absolutely waxed by Wisconsin, and then it was done.
That's why I go back to the year before.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's like that actually may have changed some things.
Yeah.
if they would have won that game against Texas.
Do you have like a favorite one of these that doesn't involve Nebraska?
Oh, good one. I'll tell you what number, let's do like the top 5. So we have the 1911 Carlisle Harvard game. Do you remember that one? I think it was on NBC Sports Network. It was a Jim Thorpe.
Mentioned in the commentary.
it's Todd Blackledge and Noah Eagle.
Oh, we love Todd. We don't want to lose Todd to Carlisle Harvard.
Illinois beat Michigan 39-14 in 1944. This is a Red Grange. This is a Red Grange joint. What do you call them? The galloping ghost.
Oh, galloping ghost. Yeah.
1924 Notre Dame aren't like we're talking about, So the first modern game that's on here, and quote unquote modern, it's 1975. Ohio State beat UCLA 41-20 in 1975. And it was an Archie Griffin's best college game yet the only guy who's won a Heisman twice, and then 1980. And then, of course, the most modern game in the top 10. I guess there's I don't know how the Texas USC.
So that's my answer.
I don't know how that game isn't like number 4, but it's instead number 11 on this list.
I love that game.
That is the game of people of our age's life. I mean, that's simply the game.
The star power.
Yep.
The it's
sort of the end of an era. Like,
right. You have Rose Bowl involved with it. So it like really stands out, but it's Rose Bowl with a Pac-12 or Pac-10 team and a Big 12 team.
Yeah.
It's a helmet matchup. And then it
features like five of the best like 20 college football players of that
run. No, it's so good. And then the actual game is amazing.
Right.
But so rarely do you get it to where it lines up, where you get all of these other things, and then you get a game that, if you watched it, you're probably going to remember for basically forever.
There's not much of a descriptor on it from Bill Connolly. It's pretty simple at number 11. Bush, Matt Leinart, and White versus Vince Young, maybe the most legendary game of the 21st century. I think for sure the most legendary game of the 21st century.
I don't even know what the argument to that would be.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, the inclusion of the Auburn, Alabama with the kick 6 is a good one.
Yep.
It's not bigger.
I'm surprised to see Nebraska and Florida, the 96 Fiesta Bowl, number 8 on this list. It says it took Tom Osborne more than 20 years to finally win an elusive title. It only took 12 months and one of the most famous runs of all time to win a second. It's so hard to like we all know that as one of the most famous runs of all time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was universally viewed by everyone as one of the most famous college football runs of all time. I guess I didn't know that, or I didn't care to know that.
I think of a certain age, people remember it. Yeah. Certainly. I think the further I get away from it, the more that game kind of, because as a kid, you don't think about these things.
Right.
The more the game sort of stands out for this idea that Florida seemed poised to be like overtaking college football. And then here's a Nebraska team that doesn't have a spread out offense, that doesn't, like they just did it with sheer power.
Right.
And it was supposed to be like footing was supposed to be an issue and speed was supposed to be an issue. And Nebraska ends up looking like a machine and Florida just gets run over.
There was not much that was an issue that night for Nebraska football. All right. So we could jump through a couple games on that list as we go on throughout the show. Today, we'll take a quick time out. We'll come back, pop open some magazines. We'll see what we got for today. Coming up next as we finish out the 6 o'clock hour on 1620 The Zone. We have 4 packs of tickets. 4 packs, multiple 4 packs of tickets to this Saturday's Omaha Storm Chasers game against St. Paul. First pitch is at 6 o'clock, and it will feature an autograph session featuring World Series MVP in 2016, Ben Zobrist, also World Series champion 2015, Ben Zobrist. Same guy. So you want to go to that game and get in on that action. You could listen on Sportsmanlike Conduct for your chances to win your way in, to Warner Park this week. Always a fantastic time. And there very likely won't be a guy on the concourse chucking his guts up for eating too many hot dogs, which is great news for you as a society. All right, let's spin it and see which page we end up on today. How many balls would we like to select out of?
What do you think, Joey?
Let's do 4.
4 balls. All right. The first 4 balls say 10, 23, 34, and 18. All right, Schaefer, come on.
Nope, 85.
Oh.
Boo.
Which we might have done this team. We'll see.
All right.
We've done 86.
We're going to Minnesota.
Perfect.
I don't think we've done that.
We've not done Minnesota.
Awesome.
Minnesota was an interesting case study for a game grader. Their 5 close margin Big Ten wins were against teams with a combined 9-46 league record. So yes, Minnesota went 8-5, but placed down at 55th in game grader, 13th in the Big Ten. They returned program stars in Lindsey, Taylor, and Smith. Drake Lindsey, I believe Devin Taylor, the running back. I think that's his name. And then we were talking about the defensive end Smith yesterday. But now the schedule reverses. They dropped 6 of the Big Ten's top 9. Statistically, they were a 6-win team last year. And that is what they're projected for in 2020.
Yeah, but we do have to factor in how they usually they come in above what they're expected to do. And that's like they just pick off a couple wins that they're not supposed to win, or they're in games that they're really not supposed to be in. As we've talked about before, PJ Fleck is on an outstanding run of 5 consecutive bowl wins. If that means anything to you, if it doesn't mean anything to you, that's fine. But they've been to and won a bowl game in 5 consecutive years. And the year that they didn't was 2020. So really they're on a streak of 7 consecutive bowl wins. Every year outside of his first year, 2017, when they fell 1 game short at 5-7. They won 8 games last year. They won 8 games the year before. They went 6-7 the year before that. Obviously, they only won 5 in the regular season, but ended up APRing their way to the bowl game, which is, you take advantage of it. And then 2 straight 9-win seasons. Obviously, before that, they had their breakout season in 19, going 11-2, where they were rated as high as number 10 in the country. I don't see that coming for them this year, but there is a reason that they are selected, directly in front of Nebraska in the league poll. They're just trusted more. You just trust them more. If you're asking me point blank period without knowing the schedule, and we'll get to the schedule in a second, Minnesota or Nebraska, which team do you have more confidence in that will win 8 games this year? Any sane, rational person would say Minnesota.
I would say that too.
Right? Without knowing the schedule,
just on the face of it,
without knowing anything. Yeah, right.
Like, given the fact that they have legitimate star power with that team.
They always do.
Yeah.
They always have a guy.
The schedule will make it fairly difficult for them. Now, here's the thing about Minnesota, though.
What's the schedule
sort of the reverse of? So here, basically, you have Eastern Illinois home against Mississippi State on September 12th. So that's kind of a fun game. September 19th, Akron. September 26th at Washington. October 3rd, home against Michigan. October 10th at Purdue. Bye week. Iowa, then at Indiana. UCLA at Penn State. Northwestern at home. Wisconsin at home. So you got to take care of the early part. You got to take care of the last part, and you got to find some stuff. One in the middle.
And remember, they own Iowa. People forget they own Iowa.
Do they own Iowa?
They own Iowa.
Okay.
Iowa's not happy about it. They own Iowa.
They've won some games. Famously won the infamous punt return touchdown.
I was going to say,
callback.
like, whether or not Jet Award winner Caden Wheatgent waved for that fair catch or not, right? Like, that's one of them.
That would have been Cooper DeJean, right?
That's right. That was
DeJean.
Cooper DeJean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've had so many of the Jet Award winners that, what are you going to do? But
they only own Iowa, meaning that they have won only 1 game in the last like 13 opportunities.
I was gonna say when you
Yeah.
said that, I was like, every game is close, and I feel like Iowa always seems to horseshoe their way to the win.
Iowa always does. They do, including last year with a 41-3 win. By the way, just thought I'd throw that in there to make all my Iowa fan listeners happy out there.
But I mean, like, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat Michigan at home on October 3rd.
No,
You know, like they have earned that kind of view where it's like, okay, they can rise up and beat a team on a weekend because they have done it. They don't do it very often. And they can also lose to Northwestern as they did last year. I don't think it's a given that they beat Mississippi State, but they're going to be an interesting team. Like, they're a tough team to play every week, I think.
exactly. Yeah, they're going to be Minnesota, which that's a term we usually reserve for Iowa, but it is a term that we can now use with Minnesota because I mean, I didn't think like when Fleck got there, I just thought, yeah,
I didn't think he'd be here this long.
Exactly. I think he probably elevates them and then he goes on to the next thing,
Right.
and that has not happened. He has elevated them, but
He's definitely, yeah. I mean, they're very solidified in where they are.
I also think he kind of can't get out, like
I think he's pretty much stuck.
he's tried. He's tried many a time.
definitely has.
And
Definitely has.
he can't get out for some reason. I can't get out of Minnesota, which is really not that bad. All right, how many balls this time? You want to do 3?
Let's go 3.
34, which I feel like is a number we get a lot.
Yeah.
21, 33,
88.
88. Are we still in the Big Ten?
We might have just left the Big Ten.
We might be still in the Big Ten.
Nope, you're right. We have
Nebraska.
Northwestern, who I'm pretty sure
We've done Northwestern.
Do we go next to Maryland?
We have not done Maryland.
Maryland. Yes, absolutely. We do Maryland.
Mike Loxley talks on Thursday.
Yeah.
Other programs signed flashier transfer portal hauls, but Maryland's wins were on the high school recruiting trail and, more importantly, roster retention and emerging stars. Loxley retained all 10 key players, and their pass rush rate should be elite. Maryland draws both of the bottom Big Ten teams, Rutgers and Purdue, and gets 3 mid-tier league teams at home in College Park, UCLA, Illinois, and Wisconsin. They're a step up from the bottom 3, but have not proved staying power in the mid-tier yet. Maryland is a very interesting team to me in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Interesting that Nebraska wasn't mentioned as a mid-tier game.
Well, it's because those are the home games.
Oh,
So Nebraska would be a mid-tier road game for them.
they do.
Which part of the issue for Maryland is I don't think they've won on the road. I think they're
No.
the only team in the Big Ten worse than Nebraska in the stat of back-to-back road wins.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And so,
Non-con is interesting. They go to UConn and
Yep.
then they have Virginia Tech.
yeah, that Virginia Tech game I think will be fun.
Start off. I mean, you could convince me through their first 5 games. You could convince me of just about any record for them. It's Hampton
0-5 I'm out on.
at UConn.
I like them over Hampton.
Virginia Tech, UCLA, and at Nebraska.
Yeah. That UCLA game.
They could be just about anything except for 0-5.
That UCLA game feels like, okay, UCLA has to come out from the West. Like, it's going to be tough for them to do it. And then you think back to, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? They went and played a Rutgers team that's probably around the same level Maryland is, out on the East Coast, 11 a.m. kick, and then just dusted them.
Mhm.
Like, absolutely just beat them down. So you're right. I mean, they could be 1-3 going into the Nebraska game. They could be probably 2-2,
Yeah.
3-1.
Yeah, I don't know.
4-0 seems unlikely.
I don't know. it's doable.
No, it's definitely doable.
Everybody likes
I like
Malik Washington.
I like him a lot.
Everybody loves Malik Washington.
Where are you at on Malik?
I like Malik Washington.
All right.
He's a giant gunslinger.
You were saying it, and I was like, well, I don't know if that means that you don't like him.
I'm in on Malik Washington
Okay.
for sure.
Well, and then they obviously
They always have a good defensive
Zaire
line.
Smith
They
and,
always have good
the
wide
other
receivers.
defensemen, yeah.
Like, I think, they'll probably have enough to pick off some games against some teams. I don't know. That game against Nebraska looms large, certainly
Does.
on
Big game.
Nebraska's schedule and on Maryland's as well. All right, so there's a look at your Terps. A couple more Big Ten teams off the list today. Stay tuned. We have more balls to spin as we go on without that very, very fun segment that we did. We'll come back more right after this on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. Maybe by August 21st, it won't be 200 degrees outside. If it is or if it isn't, we'll be there out at Miracle Hill on August 21st for the 1620 The Zone Golf Tournament. It is coming, so get signed up. Do it now at 1620thezone.com. Sign up your foursome. We'll be out there. The morning show, I don't know how many times I would be able to say this. The morning show, this very show, will be out in the world, out in public. Not a lot of times the morning show goes out and, is in the community and shaking hands and kissing babies, but we will be there, which I am excited about. I want to sit right. I want to sit right on the tee box and just absolutely give it to people. I don't think that request will be granted.
No, probably not.
But that's okay.
Probably not. We would be allowed to talk during their backswing, so if we're right there on the tee box.
We're just doing a radio show. Yeah,
I mean,
nobody can say anything to us. We're
not
doing
our
a radio
fault that
show.
they put us on the tee box, even though we did request it.
So get signed up right now, 1620thezone.com. Plenty of awesome perks come with this. Of course, join us for the after party as well over at the Phoenix across the street. 1620 The Zone. It's brought to you by Cutwater and T-Box. We're excited to have that here in just a couple of weeks as we gear up once and for all for football season. Yesterday, there was another instance of, remember how we used to call these instances of panic?
Yeah.
Oh, the instances of panic were back yesterday. Do you want to know what this is about?
I have a guess.
You do.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Tickets.
It's about tickets.
Tickets and prices of tickets.
Oh, no.
Yep.
They've gone up. Oh, no. They've gone down.
Actually, they've gone down.
Right. No, that's what I was going to say. We say, oh, no, in either direction.
In some cases, they've gone up. We'll explain that in a second. In this particular case, they have gone down. Nebraska football was offering 4 tickets for $100 for the game against Ohio, which is the season opener on September the 5th? Yes, September 5th. 4 tickets for $100. I haven't seen a lot of deals like this in the past. I think there was earlier in the week, or maybe a week or so ago, they were offering a special deal for July 17th. This is 11 days ago now. They were offering home opener tickets for as low as $50. So obviously that price has gone down even further. There is shouldn't be breaking news to anybody. There is a bit of a lack of demand, I think, for the early season portion, not only because of the state of Nebraska football, I think mostly because of their crap non-con schedule, and how nobody wants to watch them play Bowling Green, which is understandable. Now, let me say this. There's 2 different things going on at once here. On one side, two different things, but they're both going on at the same time. There is a general unhappiness about the ticket prices at Nebraska athletics events rising or changing. There's all these reseating processes and things like this that are going around. And we'll get to volleyball in a second, which obviously has a much higher demand. So there's that side of it. Then the ticket prices on football games are way, way down because there's less of a demand for it. I don't think that we could really be mad about both. It is a good thing that you, the common fan, can get in to the football game for cheaper if you want. That is a good thing. The question that it brings up, obviously, is regarding how little demand actually is there for these football tickets and how, it maybe hasn't been like this for a long time around here, which brings into the question the 400+ game sellout streak.
The sellouts.
It is a topic, folks. It is a topic.
We haven't gotten to the the over-discussed
15
stuff,
minutes.
Right? Yeah.
15 minutes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if I could include sellout streak.
It might be on the list.
It might be a late edition. Yeah.
15 minutes.
That really could be there. So I think Nebraska is undergoing what a lot of places are having to deal with as well, is that there's also just not as much demand to go to a live college football game as there used to be. I mean, whether that's people wanting to stay home and watch it on TV, whether it's the tailgating aspect, whether it's just people consume sports a little bit differently now. We have seen teams that have had recent success still struggle to sell tickets. So you have to bake, I think, a little of that into this too. So it's a combination of, as you mentioned, really light schedule for a portion of it. You have one of the better conference schedules maybe you've had in the Big Ten for home games.
Great home games.
If you think
in
about it in the
conference,
sense of you get the defending national champion, an all-time power in Ohio State, a Washington team that,
on Halloween
could be a top 25 team, a Maryland team that could be really interesting. Like those are your
it's a good
home
conference,
games.
home conference.
And so like that's really good, but it's paired up with don't care, good Lord, go away. So
hey, how dare you, North Dakota? North Dakota is the one I'm most interested in.
You got to throw in the FCS team somewhere.
They're at least
it's
close.
for me. It's the first.
They're at least close.
Yeah, the game won't be.
It's far if you mixed up each of those three
Bumpy
opponents in a hat
blender,
and they took place at any time. The most interesting one by far is North Dakota for me.
Okay.
Just because, like, if they could make it somehow where they only played teams within a 250-mile radius in the non-con instead of playing actual teams with a pulse, that would be the way that I would want to do it.
Yeah.
I would just want to play like Iowa State, an FCS school from a Dakota, and an FCS school from Kansas, or if that exists.
So like Colorado State, Kansas, Iowa State,
Right.
Northern Iowa.
Right.
Basically, any Missouri Valley team. Can we just say that? For
Absolutely.
The most part?
Yeah, like that's the way I'd want it. That is actually interesting to me because chances are there are a bunch of Nebraskans on their roster and things like that.
Wyoming.
Wyoming. And not really.
I would like more.
Range.
I don't know if they'll ever do a home and home with Wyoming the way
that was a bit of a disaster.
Yes. Was that an I course or no? That would have Steve Peterson.
I guess so.
I think he would have signed them up for the you get two at home, but Nebraska will go to Laramie and Nebraska will go to
and nearly
Fresno.
get beat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to see more Wyoming. I'd be good with that.
Let's get some Wyoming going. I'm down.
But as for the tickets, again, like you combine fan apathy, overall just sporting event apathy, which is weird to say because we're coming off of look at Nebraska pack in at Oklahoma City and look at Nebraska at all these different places and they're going to take over Wrigley and all of this. Event-based versus a home game is two entirely different things.
Absolutely.
And as is often said, the people who travel for that kind of stuff are not always the same people who go to home games because they come in from other places. So it's usually a different crowd that travels than the one that you're going to find at home. I don't have any issue that they're trying to sell as many of these tickets as they can.
I don't either.
I think it's what you want to do.
And for the record, I think they will. I don't believe this will be the end of the sellout streak.
Well, some of them, like
at some point, it will probably end, and I'm just going to keep calling bluff until it does.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think this is the one. Just as I've said for the last 15 times we've talked about this, I don't think this is the one. I don't think this is the one either. But I mean, it's worth noting because it continues to have to be saved.
Which comes back into the idea of as you do the stadium renovation,
I know.
Put a premium focus on what seems to be a legitimate number that you need for capacity, not some vanity number. So it looks like you have this amazing.
That's where my brain went to. And so I think that's what this conversation ultimately lands upon.
And that's kind of where it's always gone.
Why did they do that? And why did they not lower the capacity even further for the stadium? It was surprising to me when the number came out. There seems to be some sort of force behind the scenes that is saying this stadium needs to be at least 80,000 people.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why that's the number because it puts you in the top X whatever percentage of
Doesn't
stadiums
matter.
Nationwide. That appears to be the reasoning, though.
That's a dumb reason.
I agree. I agree with you completely.
Like, I would much rather have a frenetic, impactful 74,000 versus, a more hollow 86,000 that can seat 92.
Yep.
Or whatever it is. Like, give me, and then allow those people to actually have space and room and then do something with your stadium. This is why the stadium project always annoys me because it feels like they're doing the most papered over version of what they can do.
Yeah.
It's
as big
the
as the
bare
project
minimum
is going to be,
meet demand,
yeah.
the bare minimum to make things happen. And we're just not going to use this as a opportunity to reshape what the stadium can look like and the experience can be.
As big as the project is going to be and as much money is going to cost, it is still a half measure, which is shocking. I mean, it's shocking. You're right. Like you're already doing a major project in which you have to tear up almost all parts of the stadium in order to get to where you want to go. So why not just go the full measure? Like why not just do the whole thing? And I'm not talking about building a new stadium. I'm talking about
that's basically where I would be in a perfect world, but that doesn't exist.
Whether it's that or just actually reshape it for the future and say, yeah, this is the way that kind of everything is going, and we have a great plan to make the capacity 66,000 people at Memorial Stadium or 58,000. I mean, obviously, I don't think it would ever be that low.
I genuinely think anything from like 77 to 73,000.
But it takes care of all of these immediately your demand goes way up because you don't have enough supply anymore. Right. Like you have a full raucous stadium again, and people want to get in. And then you can start charging money for tickets, right? Like you could actually say, you know what, the demand for these tickets is really, really high, so we're going to start charging money for them. Exhibit A, Nebraska volleyball. So their red-white scrimmage is in a couple weeks. It'll be at Pinnacle Bank Arena because Devaney is under a little bit of construction at the moment. If you would like to sit in the 300 level for the red-white scrimmage, it'll cost you $20. If you want to sit in the 300 level for the Creighton game a month later, also at Pinnacle Bank Arena, $50. $50 a ticket. Yes, if you could do the math there, it's $50 a ticket to sit in the 300 level for the Creighton Nebraska volleyball game. It will also cost you $50 to get 2 tickets to Nebraska and Ohio. I don't know where those seats are. I don't know where those seats are going to be.
Sure.
But there you go. I mean, obviously, it's apples and oranges here.
Sure.
We're talking about a volleyball program that has done so much and won so much. And
we're talking about demand
is really high.
Really what we're talking about.
But also, it's a 15,000 seat arena compared to an 85,000 seat stadium. So yes, obviously, it's apples and oranges here. But there is demand for Nebraska volleyball, and they're charging $50 a head to get into the 300 level for a non-con game at PBA, an already 20% bigger arena. Then, well, not 20%, but whatever, like a percentage bigger of an arena than you already play in. It's new to play at Pinnacle Bank Arena, sort of, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just kind of the next step in doing it. They do the CHI here when these teams play, and they pack that thing in, and it's incredibly popular. The matches between these teams have been outstanding in recent years. So the quality of what you're getting is expected to be really high, and you're likely to get, a Nebraska Creighton non-conference volleyball matchup is certainly better than any of your non-conference football games.
Absolutely.
So the demand of that makes a ton of sense.
But I get it for the common fan. You look at this and you say, damn, $50. I got to spend $100 to get 2 tickets in 300 level for a volleyball game. Like that's crazy. But it's something I really want to see. It's something I really, really, really want to see. And I want to go to that game. And so I want to go. And I will spend $100 and I will take my night, and whatever it is. For football, it's just for Ohio and for Bowling Green, it's just you don't feel that pull.
Right.
And it's a lot of, the season ticket holders who have been going a long time because that's what they do. No, there's no walk up for it, nobody's like, hey, I think I'll go to the game today.
If there's enough seats available and the weather seems nice like the day before, you might get some people that are like, you know what, there's like 7,000 spots in South Stadium.
I guess I'll go.
I got $12.
Right.
I can go to the game. I do. One of the things I want to shout out the ticket department for doing is attempting different ticket packages with football. They paired up the Indiana game, which I think is your best. I think the Indiana game is
the mini packages
home game because it is the best time of year, likely in October versus in November of Ohio State. A opportunity to see the defending, national champion and what should be a top 10 matchup. And it just all lines up. So you're putting that.
They'll be top 10.
What is that?
They'll be top 10.
Yeah. And so it all lines up. So you're putting that with, I think, North Dakota, and then I think one of them, what was
the mini plans? I'm not sure.
Maryland. It might have been just those 3 games in a row. And like part of the difficulty there is that's 3 weekends out of 4. So that's kind of hard for some people to pull off. But if you're, someone who's wanted tickets occasionally, but doesn't ever want to pay for a full season ticket package or the real killer in it, the donation, this is a great way to be able to get to the best game.
Yeah.
And then have options to go to other games.
I agree. And so for the record, like, I understand that it causes an instance of panic when Nebraska releases stuff like this, but ultimately it's a good thing for the fans. Now, is there going to be enough demand to fit it and to say we sold out for the 411th consecutive time? We'll see. I imagine yes.
I think they'll get there in the end.
I think they'll get there. Yeah.
And then
but it comes here we are again, and we're doing and all this time we're doing a stadium project and not minimizing the capacity. Right.
Which the half measure.
Yeah.
So we get to have this conversation again in the future.
Oh, we most certainly will. John writes in on the text line. He says, Nebraska can't go as low as Northwestern, but I would love to go to a game at their new 35,000 seat stadium. Me too. It's a completely unique experience. I mean, think about my favorite current stadium that's not Nebraska's in the Big Ten is Minnesota's. It's new. It is 55, I believe. It is.
I had 57, but I don't know why.
It is open to downtown. You get the great views in there. And I think it's a perfect modern college football stadium. But we wouldn't accept that because, and Nebraska is a different place.
And I don't think they need to go that low, but couldn't they go back to what they were, in the heyday of 70-some thousand?
But it gets rolling and gets loud in there, and all those different things. Like you could still have a great environment
when you have 47 sacks.
Right. And so there's unique experience all around the country. Nebraska is beholden to some things because of its history and tradition that you just, like you can't make it like a minor league. You can't make it like a AA ballpark and put water slides. You just can't do that. This is Nebraska football, right? So, although I love the image.
I was going to say, weren't we the ones pushing for water slides to maximize the value?
They were turning it into a golf course at some point.
That is true, but not during the actual football games. That is true. A text from the 515. It's really difficult. Playing real teams at home is fantastic, except for their 4 and 215 in those games in the era of irrelevance.
That's then it becomes a matter of the team needs to actually win football.
You guys know where I stand on this. I wish they would have been playing the Tennessee game this year.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I wish the Bowling Green game was the Tennessee game, even if it would have been a loss for Nebraska. I think that's a great thing for the fans. I think you ignite the fan base that way. You engage the fan base that way. And you obviously create a lot of ticket demand for yourself if you're looking at it from a monetary
more
value.
ticket demand.
More exposure for Big Ten versus SEC drama.
Sure, that's a part of it too. I just there's a lot of reasons why you would do it. Obviously, there is one single reason why you don't do it, and that's because you're afraid of losing, and that could very well happen. There's no doubt about that. All right, want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You could call or text that number. Of course, tweeted us at Happer Shape on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. We still have plenty to come today. Mitch Sherman will join us coming up at 8:30 from Chicago. Big Ten Media Days begins in just a couple hours. Jacob Padilla will join us in the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up next, I think this is a great way to put to bed sort of the quote-unquote off-season, where we are power rankings with tiers, off-season topics we are sick of. So you could go back and do mental documentation. Wow, I've heard these guys talk about this a lot this year, and they were sick of it the entire time. That's right. Well, so you can see
we are part of the problem.
You can see how good of a job we did at hiding our anger. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this on 1620 The Zone. Here's a good suggestion on the off-season topics you hate list from the 402. Sorsby and all the legal drama in general have driven me nuts this offseason. I'm a simple mechanic. I'm not trying to learn how to be a lawyer. That is a great point. Honestly, we could probably throw that in there.
Yeah, I didn't even think to include
We're
that.
kind of thinking more Husker topics.
Yeah, mine, I only went Husker, but if court cases would probably be number one.
Yeah.
Or,
Absolutely. Court cases and really the expansion of the playoff. I mean, I'm supposed to care. I know, and I'm supposed to have an opinion on this. My opinion is I wish they would just keep it whatever it's going to be for a 10-year period. I know I
agree.
I will never get my wish.
Yeah.
But
I want some level of certainty going into it that this is what it's going to be and this is, the rules of the game and all of that. Adding to that, I would include just NIL discussions in general on my
good one,
my overdone.
Conference supremacy. I know that's an in-season kind of a thing, but would there be
great
an
one? That's like
component?
at the tip top of the list for me. That is the stupidest conversation. Dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's
See,
definitely
look,
overdone.
We'll talk about that a lot.
I measured the Big Ten versus the SEC team by team, and I decided that the Big Ten is 2.5 standard deviations better than the SEC.
I know Nick
Shut
Saban.
up!
I know
Nobody
Nick
cares!
Saban made some comments during the SEC media days about the Big Ten.
Of course he
that
did.
You can't measure it by the championships.
No,
gotta
of course you
measure it.
can't. You have to
You
measure
can
it by
only measure
some.
it by what your golf buddies think before they play
You have to
Alabama.
measure it by something that is unmeasurable for some reason. All right, I have 4 tiers of off-season topics I don't want to talk about anymore.
I have 3.
All right, good. Let's start with this. First tier, one question.
Okay.
It is called Never Ask Me This Question Again. Are you ready?
Can I guess?
Yes.
How will Nebraska do without Dylan Raiola?
No. Mm-mm. I don't even think Dylan Raiola is on here.
Whoa.
No, Dylan Raiola does not make an appearance on this list for me. It is this question. I hate it. And I think it is lazy and boring. And we hear it less these days, but I don't think it's completely dead yet. What do you think the success of basketball and baseball teams mean for Matt Rule and the football team? I was angry just typing it into my computer last night.
Well, the success of basketball just had steam coming out from your keyboard.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
That's probably true. I'm like, do you guys hear yourselves right now?
What's funny is I thought about this last night, and then I was like, no.
What does it mean? Nothing.
We're not really doing that anymore.
It's like I said.
You and I have never done that.
Because we're smart.
Because we're not interested in talking about it.
And it's a stupid topic.
Right.
And it's a senseless topic. So, yes, we're not doing that. And we're not going to do that. And it doesn't mean anything, just to answer the question in finality. Admittedly, like I said, less and less of these days since baseball season wrapped up. And that is a good thing. Never, ever talk about that.
All right. My top tier, I got 3 of them.
Okay.
These are things that my tier is called overdone. And this is just like, it's kind of all encompassing. So I just put the Raiolas. Like, I don't need to have any more conversation about Donovan, Dominic, Dylan, Darian.
What about Dayton,
Draymond,
Draymond Raiola?
I don't need any of it. Like, I don't want to talk about how Nebraska looks without him. I don't want to talk about what it means that it didn't work. I don't want to talk about what went wrong when it was here. I just want to be done. Like, he's going to go to Oregon. I hope nothing but the best, because I don't care. And I don't want to think about it or talk about it again.
Yeah.
I have just like full capacity done with it.
No more.
I don't
Raiolas.
want to debate like how different the offense will look or what this, and those are all like legitimate conversations. And we had all of them. I just reached full capacity of it. Like, I just can't do it anymore.
Maximum Raiola.
Also overdone. I don't need to relitigate the contract extension. That is done. I wasn't in favor of it when it happened. I wasn't in favor of it before it happened. That's where I was with it. However, it happened. He is the coach. He will be the coach. We don't need to go back into time and pretend like there's some world in which this doesn't happen. And largely, it doesn't really affect you, the fan, that much. If they need to move on from him, they will find a way to move on from him.
I can already hear John typing up a text message just saying, this affects me. I have to watch them.
Yes, it affects you in that he's employed. He would still have been employed if there wasn't an extension. He would still be your coach.
Yeah.
So that one's on there.
I agree with you on that one. I think that's a little bit overshot. And if they are a flaming dumpster fire this year, he might get fired.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing.
Obviously, they made it more difficult, and it would be really, really dumb to do it. But if they have to make that move, they once held a coach for an additional 7 months and then fired him by the third game.
Like 3 weeks before his buyout went drastically down.
So we've seen decisions get made that fly in the face of rationality. Last one on here, sort of self-explanatory. I really don't need more conversations going into the season about the schedule and how hard the schedule is.
Great one.
And what this, they have to do this and they have to do this. And then in this stretch, they have to at least win this. It's like, okay, they'll play the games. We're getting there. However you think it's going to play out, it won't. Because all of us that basically said Penn State was one of the best teams in the country last year, what a difficult game that'll be for Nebraska at the end of the schedule. It was a difficult game. That team won 6 games in the regular season.
Saw this clip yesterday. It was the one from Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad where they finally it's like wrapping up and Jesse's like in protective custody from Hank. And he's like, however you think this is going to go, the exact opposite will happen. That sounded like you just said. Whatever you think is going to happen, the exact opposite will happen.
Yeah, that's good.
That's basically that. I think it was a meme for the Rays or something like that.
That feels like a possible rewatch for me.
It's a
at
great
some point
show.
in time.
It's a great show. These are regular off-season annoyance, dead horse speeding topics for me. I have a couple. Do you actually believe in the offensive line? Like I like talking about the offensive line, but I always feel like there's this twinge of like, I really have to convince myself because of some things that I'm scarred by from the past. Like just forget about all that. The sellout streak, which we conveniently just talked about hilariously. These are very important for me. Matt Rule being a podcaster.
This is great.
Do not care if Matt Rule has a podcast.
Man, I am jealous.
Why do people care about this so much? I am
so jealous.
Matt Rule, I do not care about Matt Rule being a podcaster. It's brought up every time we talk about Matt Rule. We shouldn't talk about that. And my last one in this tier is a personal one for me. When people talk about how Nebraska has a great quarterback situation, that doesn't matter. That your starting quarterback is your quarterback. Your backup quarterback is your backup quarterback. You don't get to play 3 quarterbacks at once, and they don't get to be added up based on how good they are, based on how much experience they have.
You can run
just
the
because
play.
Daniel Kaelin has played in college football games as their third string quarterback does not mean that they're better at quarterback than any other teams in the league. They're not. They're based on their starter. Okay, that's what happened.
You could run the Luke McCaffrey play. Or you could put Heinrich Harburg in at quarterback to run a sneak.
That has always worked out well.
They kept trying it.
They did. Much to my chagrin last year.
Everyone's chagrin.
It's terrible.
I want to add to your Matt Rule one about the podcasting, just an addendum. I also don't care where he traveled. If he appears at Madison Square Garden or Augusta or Oklahoma City
or the Kentucky
Derby.
Downs,
yes.
Yeah. What was that?
Or the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think he was just in South Lincoln for that one. But look,
he's just wearing a big hat in South Lincoln.
Here's something that might be difficult to wrap your head around. People that have money and the ability to travel can go do stuff that you won't get to do.
That's
and
true.
Chances are they're doing it at a time in which they are taking time off to do it, which they also have the right to do because you don't work every hour of every day. Mm-hmm. I'm sure somewhere Kurt Cignetti goes on vacation. It's probably a small town where he just sits in a diner and draws up plays while having a milkshake.
That's definitely what's happening, yes.
But I'm sure he does it. There's no photographical evidence.
Kurt Cignetti just goes on the lam to Dubuque, Iowa, just hides out for a couple days.
That would be great.
I mean, I honestly am halfway expecting to see him there this weekend. We all walk into Dottie's like, hey.
Like, I remember you. I watched your YouTube clip.
But I know what he's doing, and I respect him, so I wouldn't talk to him.
Fair.
And everybody else would leave him alone in Dubuque, too.
I'm sure they would. All right, I have a second tier here of 3 names all again relatively self-explanatory. I'm tired of, and it's not that it's not a interesting conversation to point. I just think we've overdone it, and this is called overcooked. Jeep Wade, Mike Eckler, Anthony Calandria. We have examined everything on every angle here. There is nothing left for me to tread until we get into camp.
Yep.
And even then, it's, a little bit like with Jeep Wade, there's only so much until you start playing games.
So we're on the same path as on the offensive line, which
Yep.
I mentioned in mine. And
Special
then
teams, Mike Eckler, what went wrong? Why didn't he stay? Why does he hate Nebraska? Why does he hate Matt Rule?
so that comes up in this tier for me, which is dead horse has been beaten, but it's sort of relevant.
Right.
Running back situation, we've talked about a million times, and the special teams post Eckler. Like, it is a point of interest. I can't wait to see what's going to happen at both of those things. We don't know until the games
Right.
start. There's only so many times you could ask the question. I wonder what special teams are going to look like after Mike Eckler, and I wonder what's going to happen at the running back spot this year. Admittedly, it's going to happen more throughout the month of August. I pre-apologize for it, but we will be gaining more information as the month goes along. So bear with us on that one.
Yeah, here's just overheated. And these are like normal ones that you're going to have. I just, again, like you've reached a point where I have nothing new to offer on it. Defensive line, running backs, overall development for Nebraska. And then now I included the sellout streak. So
You got to throw it in there.
that's like I said, I'm jealous of your podcasting one.
I was jealous of one of your first ones too that I forgot about.
The contract extension.
The contract extension one. Yes.
Yeah.
Stop talking about this.
Hey,
Yes, he makes a lot of money.
we acknowledge that we are
And yes,
part of the problem.
Right. And also for the contract extension part, it was largely unnecessary what they did.
Yes.
You can't take it back now.
I was so when I put this together, I was thinking, could I go back and find the audio of the Monday I appeared on your show after the Minnesota game? Because I know we would have talked about, like, did the contract extend? Like, did this cause the distraction? Did it that, or we were both so catatonic about what we watched? It was just a lot of, yeah, that was bad.
I would have been catatonic because I watched that game on a plane and like afterwards, and I was furiously taking notes on this several hour long.
Oh, were you
I was
going
in
out
Napa.
to?
Yeah,
So then I wouldn't have talked to you that week, right? Or did you?
I
you
was
were
there on
coming back?
Monday. I was there on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was a bad experience. And then my final tier, by the way, is called This Is Fine, which I'm fine with these topics, even though they are off-season topics. The general direction or misdirection of Dana Holgerson's offense, which we will be talking about a lot.
Notably, I did not include
in August, and Memorial Stadium / ticket sales / things of that
Sure.
nature, which we just had a conversation about. So there you go. Off-season topics that we can be done with. I'm hoping that new off-season topics make their way into the talkosphere at some point within the next 48 hours when Matt Rule talks at Big Ten Media Days. I'm excited for that potential. I'm hopeful. I don't know if we're going to get it. We're going to probably get some of the same old topics that get talked about.
undoubtedly.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, we'll take a break. If anybody has any, always let us know if you have any topics that you just feel like we're just absolutely slamming into the ground. Please let us know.
Or if there's stuff that we don't tread on enough, too.
Yes.
We certainly like guidance and direction from our listeners.
402-951-1620. That's how you can do that. Also tweeted us at HappenSchafe on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. After this timeout, we will hear from Joey and his wonderful headlines. After this on 1620 The Zone. Head to 1620thezone.com right now to enter in a variety of different things like the golf tournament we have coming up, or there's plenty of other stuff going on at 1620thezone.com as well as the 5K preseason plunder. Stack up on provisions before the start of the season. Improve your game day experience by upgrading your captain's quarters. Cash in on tickets to see your favorite team up close, etc. Enter to win at 1620thezone.com. The 5K preseason plunder brought to you by AG Consulting Group. All right, Joey, what do we have today for headlines?
All right, headline number 1, out of control Tesla slammed into building after acceleration set to insane mode for test drive, lawsuit says.
Okay, I'm interested in the insane mode of the Tesla driving. Also, could this be a reason why all these cars are crashing into buildings these days?
Is there a reason there's an insane mode?
Well, you'd have to click on the story.
Yeah, that's the biggest question I have.
Usually in video games, insane mode would be a full playthrough without dying. If you die, you start over. So
okay,
I don't know the
I didn't
correlation.
know that was a thing. That's a thing.
That is a thing.
Have you ever
It's
driven
either-
a
it's either-
Tesla?
No.
I'm interested. I want to drive an electric car.
I'm always fearful that my Uber or Lyft will be a Tesla and I'll look like an idiot as I struggle yet again to try to get out or in because
It's
of the door
big.
handles.
It's a big. Oh,
The handles.
The handles.
The cars inside are great. They're spacious. Like I have no issue with the car. I always look like a moron because I just expect it to be a normal car and the handles are slightly different.
I can't imagine the crap that the Uber drivers who drive Teslas get asked by the normie Midwesterners like us. Like, how long have you had this Tesla? Is it good on gas? How long do you have to recharge it? Do you have a charger in your house? I can't imagine the crap that they get asked like 75 times a day.
Yeah. Yes. What you reminded me of is just being in an airplane coming back to Omaha.
Oh my
and
God.
The roulette game that you play of just where you end up sitting and who you end up talking to, and the very chatty Midwestern couple.
And it's always the same conversation. All right, what's the second headline?
Headline number 2, 53-year-old message in a bottle leads to bittersweet discovery.
Okay, we've seen messages in a bottle before.
Yeah, the last one was like was it a Jack Daniels bottle in New Zealand?
It's like a long lost.
It was either, I think it was that or just somewhere between the Atlantic Ocean, I think in Nova Scotia or something.
Bittersweet
Newfoundland.
sounds like it is kind of sad. So I want to do the Tesla
Okay.
insano mode. All right, so let's go to the Independent. A federal employee, was critically injured when she lost control of a Tesla Model Y during a test drive and slammed into a hair salon, unaware that the salesman had set the acceleration to insane mode before sending her out on the road, according to a $10 million plus lawsuit obtained by the Independent. In her complaint, the 59-year-old woman says she had never before driven an electric car. It was never told prior to leaving the lot in Arlington, Virginia, that the electric car she was trying had 3 different acceleration modes. Chill, which Tesla says limits acceleration for a smooth and gentle ride. Standard, which provides a normal level of acceleration, and insane, which gives drivers the maximum level of acceleration immediately available. I didn't know this.
This is all new to me.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
So if you put it in insano mode, you could just, pump that gas pedal and all of a sudden you're going 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, according roughly the same as of a Ferrari 296 GTB Special, which if I know anything about cars, that sounds awesome. Only no one had said anything to the driver of the car about it, according to the complaint. So she did not know that she was in insano mode. At the Tesla showroom, she had been improperly assured by the sales staff that the electric car she was about to drive was operated the same as a gas vehicle. Nice sales pitch. As the driver, who was not accompanied by the Tesla salesman on the test drive, pulled away from a red light near the Pentagon, the Model Y suddenly, quote, lurched forward at an extreme speed and horsepower compared to the force placed on the accelerator. According to her complaint, the sudden acceleration caused the driver to lose control of the vehicle and crash into a nearby storefront. Wow. And now she's seeking a $10 million lawsuit. The test drive by yourself in the Tesla in insano mode. She might have a case here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. When I've done test drives, I don't know how often they've been by myself.
I don't think really ever.
I think there's been times where they allow a couple people to go, but by yourself, that's a unique one.
You usually have an expert of the vehicle with you, just so
So you can ask questions.
Yeah, ask
They can
questions.
point stuff out. to you.
Yeah.
I was one of my buddies this weekend where I was up on my golf trip. He had got a like a truck, but it was a fully electric truck, and we were just peppering him with questions about the normal ones that I just asked him.
Right.
How often do you need to charge it? Do you charge it? He's like, oh well, it's not bad.
Did he seem like he was a veteran of answering these questions?
Absolutely. He seemed like he'd answer it 700 times a piece. I still can't get over, and even though I don't I like to take road trips, but it's not like I'm doing it every 6 months or anything like that. I still can't get over you have to charge it every 3 hours.
Yeah.
That would that's just a sticking point for me.
That's a deal breaker.
Once they get past that part, and they make it, you have to charge it every 12 hours or something like that, and you could drive down the interstate the entire time, then we're talking. Then I'm interested.
I think I'm more as a commuter vehicle than I do
that's what it would be.
A standard get out on the road.
But then you have to get a whole different car to drive on long distances.
Well, that's part of it is I don't know that, with depending on the lifestyle that some people have, I guess you could probably get 2 electric cars and just be completely fine. But I think you'd want one.
That's true.
Each.
2 electric cars. Yeah, you would want one, or maybe like a moped or something like that, or a motorcycle. I know it's a sore subject for people in my area of town because the motorcycles are running rampant around the Bennington Elkhorn area. The dirt bikes, yes.
Yeah. The scooters, all of them. You got to be careful.
Everything. So hopefully she's going to be okay. And she is seeking a $10 million lawsuit of compensatory damages and $350,000 in punitive damages for Tesla's recklessness, willful, and wanton conduct. I don't know what wanton conduct is. Wanton conduct, the conscious disregard for health and safety of others. Yeah, you got to have all this straightened out, Elon. Otherwise,
wanton conduct sounds like it really should be like some kind of egg roll.
I know. That's what I thought. That's just why I'm excited about the word. I don't know what it means in that context in particular. All right. We will take a quick time out. We will come back. We're halfway home. 8:00 hour is coming up next. We'll check in with Mitch Sherman from Chicago. We have plenty of other topics that we have to hit for you on this Tuesday. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here.
All right, welcome back. Happer and Schaefer on a Tuesday morning. 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the Zone Radio Network. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you this morning, as we are most mornings, just about every morning. Just when we get through August, it'll be like every morning. And we'll be with you, and we'll never leave until, like, I don't know, May of next year or something like that. Could you imagine? Every single day, every single morning. Joey, are we even keeping track of how many shows we've done anymore?
Have you stopped now?
I actually did that the other day. I think we are at 135, I think.
Okay, coming up on 150.
35 shows.
I know our 200 show would be on October 21st. I actually did track that down.
Okay, what day of the week is that?
That's like,
it is a Wednesday.
yeah, it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
It's just funny because that's my sister's birthday as well.
It is a Wednesday.
We'll have to find some exciting way to celebrate it.
So the 100th show was on my birthday, and then 200th would be my sister's birthday.
We'll have a giant,
That's
huge
wild.
party.
Yeah, 150 is going to be on, I think, August 11th, if I remember right. Yeah,
Okay.
150 is going to be on August 11th.
August 11th. That is 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Get ready. Joey, all the
We're getting there.
milestones
This is exciting.
are still coming. I want to
Oh.
hear about these milestones.
I'll get the background ready.
Thank you.
All right, we want to
You're
hear from you guys. 402-951-1620. That's the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. One of the offseason topics that stretches outside of Husker football that has become all the rage, jersey patches. We let you know about a jersey patch yesterday for Illinois. How about another jersey patch today? Ohio State is next in line, which is if Ohio State has done this, they've gone to the jersey patch game. That officially makes it free for everyone to do.
Let me guess, Wendy's.
Anyone gets to be a jersey patch team now.
That's right. If you had doubts, if you had concerns about, I don't know if we want to spoil our uniforms with these jersey patches, fear not. Ohio State has done it. And they have put the logo of JP Morgan Chase
Not Wendy's?
on their uniforms. No, not Wendy's. Not everyone has to do a fast food restaurant.
They should, though.
It would be funny if they did.
Wendy's is headquartered in Columbus, Ohio, I
Right.
think.
Yeah. Dave Thomas.
I did not know that.
He had founded there, right? The original Wendy's is just outside of campus, I believe.
Yeah,
or
it
something
is.
like that.
Something like that.
The original Wendy's. Awesome. So JP Morgan Chase is the choice, not Wendy's, sadly. But this is quite the lucrative partnership for Ohio State. The deal, according to Pete Tweets, is expected to will go on all their football and men's basketball jerseys. $17 million a year.
Yeah.
We saw Illinois yesterday. Excuse me, what was it? 6 years, 30. So $5 million a year. $17 million.
Good. Yeah. And $17 million is the difference between, one of the most visible jerseys in the country, playing some of the biggest games, and a upper middle of the pack Big Ten team in Illinois.
Right.
So
iconic brand versus brand.
I have no idea what Nebraska could reasonably expect to get. Like $8 million a year, a little more than Illinois because they're more visible.
Yeah, should we set a higher or
Yes,
lower?
This is a good, effective, thing for us to do.
So how many million of dollars a year will Nebraska be getting from whatever local bank they'll be?
It'd be funny if
working
this is
with?
already done and someone's listening to it and they're like, man, I guess I could have gotten more.
Yeah. Maybe that is the case. Let's go with, so if Illinois got 5 and Ohio State's getting 17, would you think somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 8 comes to mind, 9, right in that range, closer to Illinois than.
What if there's a
Ohio
sweetheart
State.
deal? What if it's like a local company who they work with already and they're tossing it in there for a hometown discount? I'll say that. I'll say $5 million. $5 million a year to put the whatever logo on Nebraska's uniforms. What do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Which I think is great because all it does is
add a logo to the uniform, which is barely even noticeable, and Nebraska makes $5 million a year from it.
Is there a particular logo you would like to see added to the uniform?
No,
There's nothing where you're like, it would be great if this was the actual sponsor.
I don't think so. Give me an example.
I don't know that I have one. I just didn't know if there's something like off the top of your head. You're
There's no corporate brand that
Yeah.
excites me.
well, that's disappointing.
I mean, unless it was 1620 The Zone, which I don't believe we're in the market.
My guess is we're out.
I don't believe we're in
out
the
on
market.
that
Maybe
one.
for somebody else, not Nebraska.
In Usher Media?
No, another sports like Morningside or something like that.
Okay.
The zone patch on Morningside for a couple grand. Sorry, Morningside.
I'm just like trying to think of so it seems it breaks down in either the financial sector or we've seen fast food or I think like gas stations.
Yeah.
And I don't really know where Nebraska would come in on any of those, like other than a Runza patch, which would be a little off with the green and the red.
Yeah.
I don't think they really need to.
Well, I mean, you could always change the color,
Sure.
which many NBA teams would
Throw in the
to make it look
Valentinos
good.
patch.
Yeah,
on there.
Valentino's is a possibility. And then, of course, you just have your banks. Like, banks are the primary ones. Like a TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab.
There you
something
go.
like that.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, we have that to look forward to.
It will happen. It will not be noticeable. And
We'll all move forward.
We'll all move forward. Our lives will continue.
And they
And
won't be
Nebraska's-
gray jerseys.
And we will still talk about if Nebraska's sellout streak will end or not.
I will not go to a game because there's a patch on the jersey.
Someone is going to say that.
Undoubtedly. He was not going to the game either way.
We should do that as a bit. And whenever.
Is Nebraska still doing like adding that sponsorship at like the 25-yard line like they did with the pipeline jerky? Didn't they do something like
Oh, they did it with the old, what was the 1890?
or
Yeah.
1890?
Yeah. I don't know. I assume it's all for sale, Joey. I mean, it's all for sale. It's just imagine if they could sell
Everything is
it.
an opportunity.
Everything is an opportunity. Everything is for sale.
The
This
land
is
of
college
opportunities.
athletics in 2026. Everything is for sale. And I'm not even mad at it. Like, it's just,
You're leaving money on the table if you
That's-
don't do it.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so
What was the number you landed on? I said 8.
I
You
said 5.
5.
I said 5.
All
We're
right.
getting the sweetheart hometown deal. That's my
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
For how many years?
3.
3 is what I had in my head off of your 5 as well.
Yeah.
So
So they'll come out and be like, it's going to be $15 million over the next 3 years, which will help us maybe
get a quarterback.
it could help operate one of the athletic teams for a period of time or something like that. I don't know.
Possible. What's the cheapest athletic team?
I mean, there's a lot of them that cost less than $1 million a year.
Yeah,
to
you would
run.
think.
I would
Air
think.
rifle can't cost that much.
Well, I mean, you got to get the guns.
Sure.
Bowling?
I thought about bowling.
You already got the bowling alley.
I feel like the swimming and diving, the facilities cost would be high.
Yeah. They just recently redid that too, didn't they?
I think so. Redone a lot of facilities at Nebraska. Tennis.
Tennis. So
Tennis
they have a
would
nice
probably be
facility
under,
out there. Texter or YouTube commenter, Sad Husker fan writes in, sell Memorial Stadium naming rights. Didn't Dannon comment on that?
He said they weren't going to.
They weren't going to do that.
Yeah. So I guess not everything is.
Only the things
runs
that
of
you have
Memorial.
decided are for sale
Yeah.
are for sale. And this is definitely one of the things.
Which I'm okay with it not being sold. I don't care that much either way.
I don't know what the point is when it gets to be too much. It will likely at some point, as will happen in the NBA, as will happen in baseball, as will happen all across these other sports. And we see it.
You mean in Crypto.com National Basketball Association?
Right. Or
That's probably when it's every league has its own sponsor.
the
and
NBA
it's
finals presented by YouTube TV, presented by they took that away this year.
Yeah, it's no longer a thing.
And so, it could get too cumbersome. It could get too heavy. It could be too overvalued. It a lot of times doesn't work out for the brand to get what they want out of
Right.
it. And so, just like anything, I want to warn people, there will be this immediate giant push for it, and then it will scale back. because that's what happened with the transfer portal, and that's what happened with NIL, and that's what happens with everything in college athletics. It's just the huge, giant thing. We have to be on the forefront of all this. We have to be the best at this. We have to have the best deal, and then it scales back, and that's what'll happen.
I still prefer
seen
it
the
over
future.
the schools that sell the naming rights for the head coach, or allow for families to donate.
The endowment, yeah,
claim that.
Yeah.
That's worse to me.
I'm surprised Nebraska doesn't have that.
I am too, and I'm glad that they don't.
But like we've always said, like Nebraska is always a place where it's not necessarily about one person,
right?
It's more of like the collective. Although there are a few huge donors who
there'd be one specific donor that everybody wishes was doing more.
Yes,
all the time.
The Warren Buffett endowed head coach of Nebraska football, Matt Rule.
Yes. I think people would be okay with that. Should that one come?
Maybe they should debut that at Big Ten Media Days on Thursday when he speaks for the first time and the moderator comes up and she goes, "Let's go, let's question." And she says, "Now introducing the Warren Buffett endowed head coach at the University of Nebraska, Matt Rule. He has a podcast. Have you heard?"
He has Warren Buffett on his podcast.
He doesn't anymore. Sindelar writes and he says it's going to be a corn seed company. Put it on the board. We need to get another prediction board, by the way.
Yeah, we do need that in here.
Rob Seco, you could do that. You could do the Acres thing or whatever.
Hogemeyer hybrids.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
You can just start writing on the wall over there.
No, I'm not going to write on the
predictions.
wall, Joey. Jeez. Matthew says jersey sponsor patch. That's a big no from me. Bleep that. Sorry, Matthew.
Well,
you're about
Matthew
to be.
will not get any of the cut.
You are about to be sad, probably.
The jersey patch.
We're going to get to the story yesterday. We have a couple minutes to get to it before Mitch Sherman joins us. Speaking of money in college athletics, so there is the classic end of summer thing that has happened as far as the round, like all the basketball rosters are rounded up by this point, and you have a general idea with who is dealing with what in terms of money. The Athletic and CJ Moore and Brendan Marks wrote sort of a recap piece of all that. It says college basketball rosters now start at $10 million, and one league is spending 3 times that. And so they went to the Peach Jam and talked to all these various college basketball coaches, were able to source it all together. So last year we were talking about, I feel like I remember the conversation being, it costs like 6 to 8 as the starting point for like a top 25 roster. And now we're talking about bare minimum 10, basically. The graphs and the charts have all these conferences spending several percentage points more. The SEC doubling up from about 10 million last year to 18 million this year. The Big East doubling up from about 8 million to 14.5 million this year. The Big Ten doing just about the exact same thing. The Big 12 almost doubling up on the money spent per roster, and the ACC not quite with the bigger year over year expenditure.
Surprising, and some of it is they have probably some real big disparities in an 18-team league where Boston College is not spending that amount of money.
Yeah, you also, some of it is just what you have year over year. Like, did you have a lot of guys that you had to retain,
right,
or did you have to go into the transfer portal? And like the Big East, for example, had a big year of it's going to have a big year of spending just because it can, but it was probably made even more so this year by the fact that everybody basically had to redo all their rosters. This year, there was a lot of activity in the transfer portal for the Big East. And so about $14.5 million is the estimated roster size from a money perspective of a Big East team.
Yeah, it's a fascinating league because outside of UConn, nobody else has football at the same level, and so they don't have to spend or prioritize football in the way that some these other programs are. So in theory, they have this pot that they can throw around, not to the same way that like a Tennessee or a Louisville is throwing money around, but
yeah, it's just different
at a fairly high level. Though.
You can point all your money in basketball's direction at the Big East. Now you have less money than the SEC schools and the Big
Right.
Ten schools, but all of your big dollar money is going to the basketball team.
And in theory, it should make it like a fairly competitive middle of that conference. Like your high end is going to be good no matter what. And you're always going to have a few stragglers no matter what.
Yep.
But then, like spots, like 4 to there's 11 teams in the Big Ten, like 4 to 9
Big East.
or Big East. Yeah. There's 37 teams in the Big Ten.
That's right.
So in the Big East, so just like spots 4 to 9 should be really competitive because those shouldn't be if the spending is kind of similar.
You've seen just about everybody say as a result of, the Big East as a general conference moving forward with the idea of like, yeah, we're going to spend and you're going to have to spend to compete in the Big East. Just about everybody has said, okay, we're game.
Yeah.
The only team that I could think of that really hasn't said that is Seton Hall.
That's the first team I thought of. Yeah. Because we saw DePaul obviously have DeHall. You've talked about this.
They have DeHall. Yeah.
Like Marquette is going to be a player in the NIL space more now than what they were.
They've started to spend a little bit.
And
Providence spent huge this
Right.
offseason.
No, I was going to say you had teams like Providence certainly up the amount with a new coach and a commitment to that.
Mhm.
Georgetown, I think, is spending more now than they were previously, and they have Ed Cooley. So then you have the teams.
Creighton's going to spend more too,
Right.
because they have a coach who is very much on
in the NIL space.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
who
like
knows?
Creighton, St. John's, UConn. I just kind of expect those three to be kind of big spenders no matter what.
But it takes a lot to keep up now. There's going to be some
Villanova, you
schools in the
toss that
middle
in
of the
there.
pack that are going to be nipping, at the heels all the time, and you have to fight to get to the top of the middle. I guess, yeah, right. Like as far as winning has gone over the last 15 years since Creighton's been in the Big East, they've been one of the top 2 winners in the league. But as far as the spending is concerned, as long as you're in that top 5, 7 range, you're gonna probably like where you're at. I would imagine. You don't have to be the number 1 spender. You don't have to be the number 2 spender. We'll see who that is on a yearly basis.
And like all
right
things-
now, it's St. John's and UConn.
It's not just what you spend, it's how you spent it, how you were able to build your roster, how you're able to coach around the strengths and the weaknesses and all of it. That all still really matters. But I just think it's notable that the Big East sees this kind of commitment and jump, and it should make the conference better overall. Like it's going to be a destination for some players that are going to look at, comparable money somewhere else, or can I go to the Big East for a little bit more?
Here was another interesting note from this story. One more quick thing here. From the Athletic story that came out a couple days ago. Agents told Big East coaches this spring that they appreciate doing deals with their schools because they're backed by reliable revenue sharing funds compared to less certain deals that must pass through the CSC's clearinghouse NIL Go. The CSC announced earlier in July that it has rejected nearly $90 million in NIL deals since its inception last summer. So if I'm reading between the lines there, a lot of the basketball deals are going through this clearinghouse, this CSC's thing, where the Big East is using that's happening in other conferences. What I just said, the Big East is using actual real revenue sharing, the $21.5 million. I don't know how many Big East schools are fully funded at $21.5 million, but it's all pointing toward basketball.
Yeah.
Right. And so that is cold, hard money that's right there. All the basketball deals at these other schools are having to go through like, yeah, we'll get this on the side and we'll pass it through the clearinghouse and we'll find a way to funnel the money to you. The money's coming in.
Yeah.
With the Big East coaches, which I think is a fascinating little wrinkle to this.
Makes it easier. Like you just don't have that concern in the same way, which again makes it an attractive option for sure.
So we'll see how that one tracks going forward. And yes,
I'm not convinced Nebraska has $10 million for a basketball roster.
Is that what it says?
Well, I mean, it just says like college basketball rosters now starting at $10 million, and you look at the average of the spending and everything. Like, I think Nebraska was like around 6 last year, and I just don't know that they nearly doubled or came close to doubling what they have.
No, I don't think doubled. It went up, yes.
It's probably like right around 10, but that just did. It just again shows you like they're going to have to win a different way. They're not going to be.
And that's okay.
Right.
Everybody should get used to this.
Right.
You
Well, a
don't
lot of
have
it
to
is just
win and
be emboldened by the fact you have Fred Hoiberg and Nate Lenzer, and that you can hopefully make up for some of what you don't have in just sheer money whipping ability.
absolutely.
And that's fine.
As long as you have enough to be competitive where you wanted to be, where you want to be competitive, get the guys that you feel like you can get. You have a scheme, an idea, and what you want to do, and be better on the basketball court, right? Even though you have a hand tied behind your back, whatever. But I mean, you don't have to have the most bullets to win a gunfight, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like you just don't. And so I think Nebraska will be fine with what they have. All right, 402-951-1620, the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. As always, want to hear from you guys. We'll take a quick break. Mitch Sherman is in Chicago at Big Ten Media Days. But how long did it take him to get there? We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. Well, on the ground yesterday, I had to deal with some significant heat, humidity, things like that. In the air, a whole different story. As Mitch Sherman from The Athletic joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Good morning, Mitch.
Good morning. Yeah, the atmosphere was exploding, so it's not fun to fly through that.
So the flight was supposed to take off at like 11-ish, and ultimately we're talking about a 1 hour flight to Chicago that didn't land until about 8 o'clock last night.
Yeah, it's funny. That sounds really odd, but that's what happened. It did take off at 11 o'clock, and we went and flew to Chicago and did not land, diverted to Louisville and did not land there, and then diverted to St. Louis, where we landed and spent 5 hours, and then flew to Chicago. But everybody got here safe, and it's a beautiful morning, 64 degrees and foggy near the lake in Chicago as Big Ten Media Days is just about to start.
How many times were you offered snacks as a way to make up for the fact that you were either in an airplane or in an airport for way longer than desired?
Yeah, it's a great question, but I don't recall that ever happening. I was offered apologies many times by the gate agent, the flight attendant, but they can't do a lot about the weather, and I didn't really have to be in Chicago yesterday. It was probably a smart way to plan the travel so that you get to the event a day early. Yesterday was more just getting situated, and I did that last night when I finally got downtown at 9 o'clock.
All right. So today we've arrived. We're safe and sound at the at the downtown Chicago Hilton, and we have Big Ten Media Days. Day one is Illinois, Iowa, Penn State, Rutgers, USC, Washington. Wisconsin. I've already seen some pictures of some of the mannequins that they bring out every year.
Yeah.
There isn't the most recent edition of a jersey patch for Ohio State, but we do have the jersey patches on the Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan State jerseys. I imagine with Ohio State joining the fray today that will be a topic of interest at day one, jersey patches.
I suppose. I mean, you may know how I feel about this.
Uh-huh.
I saw the news headline this morning from The Athletic, and this says I was walking out of my hotel. I'm outside right now. If you can hear the buses going by on Michigan Avenue as they get ready for Lollapalooza this week.
Oh God!
And I thought that's a news story that Ohio State added a jersey patch. Okay, I guess enough people care. It's Ohio State, but okay, I'll check it out. And I don't know. I mean, can we spin this to some relevance around Nebraska? Is Nebraska going to unveil a jersey patch? Because they very noticeably took it away with the latest edition of the uniform this summer that was released.
I would imagine they will. at some point.
You think so? You think so?
Not that it matters particularly, and we certainly don't. We were just talking about it for a little bit. We really don't care, but I imagine that will be coming. Is that going to be
the next big announcement? Is that the next big announcement? We can tease that for several days up until, I don't know, some point in preseason camp.
Maybe they learned their lesson. We're not going to tease everything just to put out news that people are going to be frustrated by at the end.
Maybe when they do the Nebraska Media Day locally, they'll just have the jersey out there with the new patch, and they'll allow, media members to put it on so they can wear the new patch. Could be a whole thing.
That's a week from today. By the way.
Wow.
It's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out.
And then camp will get underway. We're excited about that. But now it's still talking season. What do you? I mean, there's a lot of interesting figures as far as coaches that are going to be speaking today at media days. Of course, you have Brett Bielema, you have Matt Campbell, you have Lincoln Riley, you have Luke Fickell, and then of course Kirk Ferentz and Greg Schiano as well. I keep them at the end because they're a little bit less interesting. What are you looking forward to today at day one of media days?
Yeah, I was having a discussion with some people from Iowa last night that the only thing that Kirk Ferentz could do today to steal the spotlight is if he were to announce that this was his last season as the Iowa coach. And I don't believe that's going to happen today. So Iowa's going to be in the shadows with their quarterback competition. Probably the biggest headline that comes out of today is going to be about Tony Petitti at 10:30, he's going to take the stage here in 2 hours and stick his chest out and talk about the Big Ten having won 3 national championships with 3 different teams in the last 3 years. And somebody will ask him about his plan for the playoff and how he feels that that's going. And he'll talk about 5 for 5. They'll talk about 9 conference games and how the playing field is even now with the SEC and the ACC. So all of the normal things. I don't think to the commissioner there's going to be any big revelations or bombshells or change of direction on anything. The Big Ten is probably pretty happy with where it's at and how much it's been winning lately, not just in football, but I'm sure he'll talk about winning a basketball championship and various other titles and just the overall way that the league has raised the bar on a national level. So he's always a headliner when he talks. And then I expect from the coaches, maybe Lincoln Riley, maybe it's Matt Campbell. There's a ton of Penn State media here. They have returned with a vengeance after the light showing in Las Vegas last year.
They're not on Nebraska's schedule, but I know you spent time over in Ames and with Iowa State when Matt Campbell was there. How interested are you in this Penn State transition and like what are your just general thoughts on how prepared a guy like Matt Campbell would be to step into a role at Penn State where it's just a lot more pressure than what he was feeling at Iowa State?
Well, I think if you went back 10 years when he started at Iowa State and you were to hand him this kind of a job, that it would have been difficult. But Matt Campbell has been through what he went through at Iowa State, to build that up and, start with really nothing and turn them into a contender that could consistently beat or at least push Oklahoma and Texas. I don't think that there's a whole lot out there, even switching leagues, that's going to shake Matt Campbell. He's just solid as they come, I think, with just his ability to take what's thrown at him. So I think he'll be fine. I'm interested to see him in this different setting. And it's undeniably a big change. For every one staffer that he had to help him out at Iowa State, he's got 4 now at Penn State or something like that. So, that takes an adjustment, I'm sure, but I don't, the football is the football. And I think he'll do really well with the athletes and the kind of infrastructure that they're going to put around him at Penn State.
Brett Bielema has won, as we discussed on our podcast this morning, Mitch. Brett Bielema has won 19 games in the last 2 years at Illinois, something that no other coach in Illinois history has ever done, which is amazing. And there are some folks who expect Illinois to maybe take a little bit of a step back this year with what they lost. Obviously, at the quarterback position is a big part of that. Where are you at on Illinois, and where do you think this will land for Brett Bielema, who speaks today to the media at Big Ten Media Days?
I'm probably where most people are in maybe underestimating them a bit. And because of what Illinois has done the past 2 seasons and Bielema has shown that he doesn't need superstars. He's had some really good players, had some great players, some NFL players. I think he's going to play the kind of football. He's going to coach the kind of football, and Illinois is going to play the style that really works for him. And I think, Wisconsin probably looks longingly at what's been going on at Illinois and says, remember those days when you could take a quarterback off the, who's up next? I don't want to say off the trash heap, but just they don't need to go sign the 5-star portal QB. It's not a requirement for a Brett Bielema team. And I think people look for that when they make predictions about who's going to have a breakout year. What team is it going to be? And then Illinois, much like he did at Wisconsin, they just kind of do their thing. And you look up and wow, they won 19 games the last 2 years and they're beating SEC teams in bowl games. It's impressive. And I don't really expect it to stop this year.
Mitch, do you think this will be the last Big Ten Media Days for Lincoln Riley?
Oh, so is he going to get fired this season? Is the question you're asking?
Basically, I'm asking it in a very annoying way, yes.
Or run from the posse, I guess.
Or run from the posse.
Yeah.
Feels like a big make or break.
I'm just going to say, I'm just going to say, no, because I don't have a strong enough conviction to believe that it's going to happen this year. It could, and I don't really. The question is, when you assess this storyline with USC, is how sideways does it have to get? How much patience are they going to have with them? And we've seen it in the past with some USC administrations that they can snap real fast. I mean, they'll fire a guy on the tarmac if they have to do that.
Yep.
So, with as much as they put into Lincoln Riley and how everyone was so certain that he would be the guy that was going to bring them back to greatness. I'm leaning toward believing that they're going to have a little more patience and act more like most programs do outside of the SEC with their head coaches and give him some. Do they have to get to the playoff? Maybe with a third-year quarterback, I think USC's got a team that can do that. It's just that the league is so tough, and if you're trying to be the fourth or the fifth team from the big team in the playoff, then the time you get to the end of the season, the margin is really thin. At least they don't have to play Notre Dame this year, so that's a potential loss that Lincoln Riley will not endure. But I'm going to say he'll be back at Big Ten Media Days next year.
All right, Mitch, we will let you go. Have fun today, and thanks for your coverage over at Big Ten Media Days in Chicago, and I'm glad you got there safely.
I'm glad to, and thank you.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. You can check out all of his stuff, dispatches from Chicago. Lincoln Riley is an interesting figure because I do think, they've won. They haven't won big, but they've won enough. They've won to the point where if you looked at it just as a win-loss conversation, you would not be doing the math in your head to say, oh, I think he's going to get fired this year.
Yeah.
However, he has not necessarily ingratiated himself to the people out there in Southern California.
35 and 18 in 4 seasons.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, no, around here, that would be received very well.
But he's, like I said, he's an interesting figure in college football in general. And I don't know how people feel. Like, I don't see a lot of USC folks who are running to his side to defend him on things. You know what I mean? And so
I see a lot more like Los Angeles, like if you just search Lincoln Riley, Los Angeles Times, paying nearly $12 million for lackluster production.
Right.
Like that's the sort of headlines you're getting right now.
And some of that is because he's not out there. He's not shaking hands and kissing babies. He's not doing that whole thing. And so when you get that, you do have to win. And that's why it becomes an interesting math equation for Lincoln Riley and his guys this year. He will speak today at Big Ten Media Days. Plaquette writes in Wolf Talk. That's kind of the Scott Wolf, my dear friend Scott Wolf.
Okay.
It's kind of his thing. He's the Lincoln Riley hater.
Okay.
I don't think he's alone out in USC land.
Definitely not.
That's for
Definitely
sure.
not.
We'll take a quick break. Round out the 8:00 hour right after this on 1620 The Zone. Yeah, believe it or not, once the month of August hits, you're going to start to think about back to school. 1620 The Zone is teaming up with the Salvation Army in their annual 7-can back to school backpack program. Things like backpacks, rulers, notebooks, erasers, all the back to school supplies needed for this. You can find more information on how to donate, where to donate, 1620thezone.com. They're taking donations until August 3rd at select Methodist Health Systems locations, Metro Credit Union locations, Cubbies, convenience stores, and Salvation Army locations. That is the 7-can back to school backpack program. I saw a fun list yesterday from CBS Sports. This is regarding the National Football League, of which, by the way, by the end of today, Joey, did someone say schedules?
Whoa.
Everyone will be in camp by the end of today.
Yeah, I saw this today, and we are just under
The
10
precipice
days.
of just football all the time for Joey.
Under 10 days till we have a football game on our television screens.
That's when the waiting really begins. Everybody goes into camp. Ending, by the end of today, everybody will be in camp. So they did ranking all 191 first-round draft picks since 2020. The best and worst selections of the decade so
Absolutely
far.
incredible.
This was an immediate click for me once you brought this to my attention, Schaefer. I was like, I'm very, very excited about
Mostly because numbers 190 and 191 make you laugh.
I immediately scrolled down to 190 and 191. That much is for sure. The worst one, you ask? Trey Lance.
He only cost 3 first-round picks. Somehow it wasn't J.J. McCarthy.
The second worst one, the other one that made us laugh, 190. He might be joined by J.J. McCarthy
Yeah, I
soon.
know. J.J. McCarthy spotted at 176 on this list.
I think J.J. McCarthy is trending down still. This guy, he might be on this guy's path.
He's certainly not trending up.
He's on the Zach Wilson path. And
He seems like he's on the
Zach
Zach
Wilson
Wilson
is
path.
190.
They're terrible.
Anthony Richardson, a guy who's started many games in the NFL, is 187. That's crazy.
It's interesting because, at least Zach Wilson has started football games.
A lot of these guys have played successfully. A lot.
Some have, yeah. But then you have Lewis Seen at 179. He was so bad he got cut in his second year.
Bryce Young is 143. Bryce Young still might be a good NFL quarterback.
Could be, yeah.
Now, Homer, but there's another guy who's in jail who's above him. Henry Ruggs. How is he above my tiny baby Bryce Young?
What did Henry Ruggs do in his 1 year?
I mean, he must have been really, really good because he's been in jail since then.
He was on the Raiders. The Raiders don't have a lot of production, and he was there for
How did
that
he get
little span.
140?
His 469 yards and 2 touchdowns have stood out more than
Bryce Young?
Yeah,
That is not right.
I feel like Henry Ruggs needs to be dropped down on general principle.
He needs to be in the 190s.
I agree.
He needs to be in the 190s. He needs to be right there with Zach Wilson and Trey Lance. Anyway, we'll go to the top of the list so I can stop being angry with this. Well, I mean, actually, no guarantees. Joe Burrow, number 1. So he was the number 1 selection in the 2020 draft, and he is on this list as the number one selection of this decade, which is fascinating considering he has missed giant swaths of seasons.
He's always hurt.
I mean, I'm not again, he is a franchise quarterback, obviously an elevator. He took them immediately to the Super Bowl, all these different, but I don't know. That's the best of the best.
Which, if you look at it, I don't
first
know.
rounders.
I don't know who would pass him. And at the same time, I was also surprised to see him at number 1. But your best non-quarterback is Justin Jefferson, followed by Jackson Smith-Njigba. And then Micah Parsons comes in at number 8.
Yeah.
And then Tristan Wirfs, who's outstanding, is at 9.
I mean, all these guys are all pros.
Sure.
Except for Jordan Love.
Yeah, that one at 5 fell high, Joey. I'm not going to lie.
Speaking of high in the rankings, why is Drake May number 2?
I don't know why Drake May's number 2.
I guess because he went to a Super
He
Bowl.
went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
And that's
But he did absolutely nothing that postseason.
That's true, Joey.
It's really weird. So Drake May is 2. Jaden Daniels
Jordan
is
Love is better
7.
than Drake May.
And then Caleb Williams is 137th on this list. So No,
This is okay.
I don't
I'm good with
understand.
that.
Caleb Williams is literally 137.
he's
He's right in
listed
front of Kenny Pickett.
Right. He's listed in bottom third most disappointing first round decision.
He's only 4 spots in front of Henry Ruggs.
He's had 2 seasons, one of which he took the Bears to the playoffs and won a playoff game.
Yeah,
And he's
famously against the
137.
I don't know why that's disappointing.
There's just things
This is a
about
weird list.
list that doesn't
I'm not going to
make
take
sense.
this list seriously. I
Well,
can't.
yeah, Jordan Love
I
at
can't-
5
well,
should have been the
well,
first.
no, Drake May at 2 is the red flag. Jordan Love.
Henry
Jordan Love in the top
Ruggs. I don't
10.
know why we're not talking about Henry Ruggs more.
I don't
There's
really
like
want
40 guys behind Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy.
I guess people pay attention to what's at the top more than what's in the middle or near the bottom of the list.
Cam Ward is at 91. Caleb Williams is at 137.
Ahead of Bryce Young.
Jackson
Oh, boy.
Dart is at 40.
Would you rather have Cam Ward or Bryce Young right now?
I would have Bryce Young.
I would probably have.
He had a
uh,
great end to his first season. He had some close calls near the end, and then last year,
I mean,
he took them to
the problem
playoffs.
is I just don't know what the ceiling is for him anymore. But
Young?
yeah, Bryce Young, yeah, like the Cam Ward ceiling could be literally anywhere.
I don't think I'd be surprised if he's like a consistently a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
But it's maybe a little higher because he hasn't played as much yet. But with the Titans,
But I
it
know
seemed
Bryce
like
Young's
he
pretty
came
good.
down.
Like I know Bryce Young's pretty good.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think I'd rather have Bryce Young.
Jackson Dart, number 40.
This list is
Jackson Dart's gonna be out of the
wild.
league in 3 years. I think. That might be a hot take, but Jackson Dart, I mean, CJ Stroud has had more bad than good at this point. He's
Right.
number 24.
Bijan Robinson 64th.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand the list. I think that's where we're at.
I just can't take this seriously.
did we miss something about this list? And
I think we must have.
did we interpret it the wrong way? I don't have any idea. While this list is large, being clear about the methodology is important. I decided to evaluate each decision from the team's point of view,
So having, yeah.
given the draft capital and options available on the board, rather than evaluating talent alone. This is an important distinction because I'm simply not ranking players. That makes it a little bit more clear.
Which
But
explains
still,
Caleb Williams sort of being lower.
I suppose.
But-
Yeah. Anyway,
What are you going to do?
there's a fun list, another fun one. When we come back, we have a list of our own, a list of headlines and free balling from Joey right after this on 1620 The Zone.
Free balling now. I'm free balling now. I'm free balling now. I'm free balling now. I'm
It's time for
free balling.
where the producer reads questions on things happening in the world of sports. Connor and Mike will have the answers.
Sorry, we'll have the answers. But do we have the questions?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good.
Yes, we do.
I was gonna say we better have the questions.
The producer always has the questions. Anyway, Indianapolis Colts quarterback Daniel Jones declared himself fine and said he's good to go for camp following this season-ending injury a year ago. Can the Colts return to early 2025 form, or was it a mirage?
I know that all injuries are different and not everything is created equal, but how about an Achilles in 8 months?
Yeah.
For Dan Jones?
Feels aggressive.
It does.
Joey would have some experience with this, like with the Achilles injury, right? Like that was Tatum's, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Tatum's.
So
But
he got back and he was playing.
He was a full year, right?
It was almost a full year. It was, I think it was like 10 months or 9 months, but he got surgery right after the injury. And I think getting the surgery right after that happens is like a difference maker.
Maybe that's what Dan Jones got.
Yeah.
Probably.
I just have a tough time imagining that they're going to recapture the beginning of last year where they caught teams by surprise. They were able to run the ball on people. Daniel Jones was highly efficient.
It's a sneaky fun division.
Oh yeah.
It weirdly
other than the Titans, I feel like the other three teams, any of them could win it.
pretty competitive. Yeah,
And
Jacksonville should be
has
good
real
again.
upside.
Jacksonville should be the favor.
Yeah, I think they are.
I mean, really, Houston with their defense?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if Houston won it. And then Indianapolis, I think that'd be the most surprising of those three.
Let's see what their win total is.
Probably like 8.
Any guesses?
I would say 9.5.
Oh, really? I would have said a tick less on both of those. I would have said about 7.5, but we're all in the same general ballpark. Let's see. Awards, player props? No. Can I get just team win totals? I will try and track it down. But yeah, not particularly high on them this year. They'll be fine.
It looks like you're going to be right. 7.5 in some places.
In some places.
Looks like most places.
Okay.
So it's a real possibility.
Dan Jones.
I don't know
Andy
that it's
Dimes.
going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be the same.
I mean, even if it is the same, it's not very good.
He played at a really high level.
Well,
and
we're
then-
talking about him for MVP.
Right. And then done.
That was a bit premature.
Always is.
The New York Yankees announced their new George Costanza bobblehead. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
You
For
didn't.
2026, and it's of the famous fictional traveling secretary holding a calzone in a Yankees jersey. Any other Seinfeld moments you'd want immortalized on a bobblehead?
Yeah, I think you could do a variety of different things.
This is their
with
third
this.
year doing a Yankees Costanza bobblehead.
Okay. What'd they do?
You have Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter learning from George Costanza at the chalkboard.
That's good.
I think is the other one the Danny Tartable one. We have it up on the stream for those that want to see this that are watching it. It looks great. It brings back calzones, which I know you're a huge fan of. That's a great episode. Like one of the really good ones. Kramer is also warming his clothes in the pizza oven at that time.
That's right. Yeah.
And so everything just
It's like
comes
tossing it
full
up into
circle.
the air. It's fantastic.
I was thinking of like what would be sort of funny, like you would know it upon sight. Like if you had an Elaine bobblehead where she's holding that goldfish bag from the
good
episode
one.
where they're trying to park.
Or the Elaine, you could do Elaine dancing, something like that.
If you did like a Jerry bobblehead where he's laying down, but the pen actually moves and it's like the astronaut pen, so you could write upside down.
18,000 bobbleheads of the Costanza calzone. 2024, the Yankees introduced the first Costanza bobblehead based on the infamous image of him teaching Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter how to hit while wearing a button-down shirt and tie. Last year, Seinfeld fans wait in the long lines to get the bobblehead of Costanza sleeping under his desk.
There we go.
This year, handheld Italian cuisine takes the spotlight.
Do you think they'll have one with a car bumper dragging the World Series trophy on?
Good one.
You could do that if you're keeping a Yankee.
Yeah, if there was a way to to depict the what was it, the cotton jerseys or whatever. I don't think you could do that with a
That
bobblehead.
should just be the giveaway. It should just be like a cotton
A
jersey
cotton jersey.
that's too small, no
Sweat.
matter what.
We don't need my guys sweating.
That would be great.
That's I love the Yankees bringing in Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's great.
It's fantastic. I saw somebody asking on social media last night of like, the Yankee Stadium holds like 50,000 people. Why do they give away 50,000 bobbleheads? Because it's expensive. And I would imagine that there is a lot of licensing fees that they have to go through in order to get this. So I'm surprised they're even doing 18,000.
And if you're doing 50,000 bobbleheads, you're not getting people in early where you're also getting them to spend even more on concessions and or beer, which is part of the draw.
When the Yankees division rival, the Baltimore Orioles, announced a giveaway of 15,000 Tupac bobbleheads earlier this year, demand was so high the team increased the giveaway to 20,000. But the Yankees say 18,000 is a hard cap that will not increase, according to their senior vice president of marketing. I didn't know that.
Already being sold for $250.
I didn't know that Baltimore did a Tupac bobblehead.
Yeah.
That's kind
I
of
didn't
cool.
know that either.
All right, what else we got, Joey?
Tampa Bay Bucks Pro Bowl defender Vita Vea requested a trade, and his preference is to play for a California team or Vegas, of course. Is Vegas on its way to becoming the trendiest spot for veterans?
The Rams.
Well, I think everybody wants to play like out west, but it seems like if you can't get to either LA or San Francisco, you're fine with Vegas because you're still in Vegas, even if the team isn't good.
There is a bit of a magnetism to nerdy Mendoza.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see how they play on the field this year. But yes, it's sort of trendy.
I just think like we saw it with Devontae Adams when he wanted to go to Vegas initially. Other people have requested Vegas, and it's not like they've been good. They're trying to trade their own best player, and that failed horribly with Max Crosby and the Ravens. So Vita Vea and Max Crosby would be quite an interesting.
That would be fun.
Line.
Doesn't this feel like though he just ends up on the Rams? I don't know how it's possible, but
Isn't Aaron Donald back?
No, not yet.
He was
traversing
threatening
the facility.
Yeah.
He's threatening unretirement.
Yeah, which is
quite
to
the
a lot
threat.
of people. Yeah.
But he is interesting. Like he could just skip training
I
camp and
love
probably mash people.
Anytime I'd be watching a Bucs game because of Baker, the defense is out there, and Vita Vea just looks so much larger than every other player.
Huge.
Yeah.
And he has regressed a little bit, but man, what a run stopper when he's good.
How old is Vita Vea?
He's got to be around 30.
I was thinking 31.
I would think 30.
Vita Vea age. He's 31.
All right.
Close enough.
You'll be
For me.
32 at the end of this season.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he's slowing down a little bit, but he's still got plenty of
He had some great
Good
years.
games
love
left
to have
in.
that guy in the middle of a defensive line.
Anything else left?
Last one. The Athletic ran a story noting what it felt like college football programs would sell for if on the market. Texas, Ohio State, and Notre Dame topped the list with more than $2 billion valuation. Nebraska finds itself tied for 15th around Auburn, Washington, and Texas A&M at roughly $1 billion. Recent results aside, does that sound like familiar or similar brand company for the Huskers?
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah.
I can see where people might be like, oh, they have so much more history. And it's like, but it's not just a history, it's everything else that comes along.
So Nebraska tied for 15th in their quote unquote valuation. I don't know if there's actually anything real in this. It's just like a kind of this is what you're probably worth based on a variety of different factors. Last year they did this, and Nebraska's brand value was not quite yet at $1 billion. Now they're over $1 billion. Tied for 15th, like you said, Joey. Auburn, Washington, Texas A&M, Oregon are the schools that are sort of in there.
All within like a $500,000.
It's just like anything else. It's almost like how it works on the actual football field too. Obviously, Nebraska isn't this high on the football field, but like it's just so hard to crack the Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Georgia. Like it's really, really hard to crack into that group. I don't even know if I would include Georgia in that conversation.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like
it's
USC
notable,
maybe.
It's notable. Like Georgia's the first SEC team, and they're 8th on the list.
These programs that just have like mega high valuations. What does it mean in the long run? I don't know. You still got to win football games,
right?
But it gives you the highest ceiling of any of the schools out there. Unfortunately for Texas, they haven't been able to really ever turn it into anything.
Comes with really high expectations that seem to be hard to meet.
That is also true. All right. Thank you, Joey. Those are our free balling headlines today. Some sports stories that we have not gotten to and probably wouldn't have gotten to anyway. So a little rapid fire there. Speaking of sports stories we haven't talked much about, LeBron James is playing for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Whoa.
Next year.
Boo.
Did you see the story yesterday about him commuting from New York via helicopter?
Yeah, I heard about this.
This
Like a
is
45
it's like
minute
a
ride.
possibility.
So he's going to live in New York.
He's going to
and
live
then
in New
part-time.
York and
take a
chopper
helicopter.
into Philly every day.
Seems unnecessary.
Unnecessary, yes.
People are going to be mad about the footprint that he's leaving on the Earth's atmosphere.
Hasn't stopped people before.
There's going to be some real safety concerns.
Yes.
You know, like you don't have to think too hard.
No,
to
you do
draw
not.
comparisons that we don't need to talk
It was
about.
the first thing I thought about. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. It seems risky. Why not just live in Philadelphia?
Maybe Jacob Adela has thoughts on helicopters and much more when we come back on 1620 The Zone.
Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go.
Jacob Padilla, Herd at Sports, your source for Creighton hoops and Packers banter. Jacob Padilla on Happer and Schaefer, 1620, The Zone.
We are pleased to be joined now on the Prairie Fire Casino Zone Hotline by our good friend, Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports. Jacob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing all right.
LeBron to the Phillies. Not to the Phillies. He doesn't play baseball. LeBron to Philly.
Now
LeBron.
that
Damn it.
Phillies add LeBron for stretch run.
That could be fun.
That would have been a blast.
But he's going to play for the 76ers with Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and some guy who's always hurt. What do you think about this for the Sixers?
Yeah, I know you guys were talking about the commuting situation earlier. My first thought was the one that you had.
Yep.
And the second thought is when I saw the tweet welcoming to a city fit for a king. I'm like, is he even coming to the city?
Does he live there? No.
Yeah, felt like weird. It's like you would think if it was fit for a king that he'd actually live there, but I don't know.
Is he going to get booed by the Phillies, the Philly fans who say that he doesn't live in our city? I imagine they won't like it very much if he doesn't live there.
It's certainly possible. I mean, obviously the threshold for them deciding to boo is not particularly high, as we've seen in the past. And I mean, we just saw that for whatever reason, Laker fans never really embraced him, and he was there for quite a while. So, but I don't know. It'll be interesting just to see kind of how those pieces fit together. Talent wise, it's really intriguing, and I think he is a good fit there. It's one that I didn't really consider for whatever reason. Didn't really spend much time thinking about the fit. But I don't know. He slots right in the power forward spot. I'm curious to see what his assist numbers look like this year. This could be one of the highest assist totals of the season. I think that's kind of how this works best.
Which is, by the way, I've always wanted this to be the final form for LeBron.
LeBron, the distributor,
point guard LeBron. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, contrary to what Shams reported, we've seen him play that role plenty throughout his career.
Right.
I don't know where that report he said yesterday where he's only played it one season in his whole career, which was odd.
Kind of plays it all the time.
Have you ever played basketball on any of his teams? But it's certainly something I think they're going to lean into because I think Maxey was kind of, he's really good, but he's kind of overcast as the kind of ball dominant number one. He's really good off the ball. Athletic cutter. He can really knock down shots, spotting up off screens and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be a different role, and he's going to sacrifice some of the touches that he had last year. But I think LeBron's going to get him a lot of easier looks, and I think that could bode well for him. For the games that Embiid is out there, I can see that being a nice little two-man game. I am curious to see kind of the Jaylen Brown of it all and how that slots in.
Famously played for the Celtics most recently.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. But anyway,
who knows?
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, I don't really see. I think Jaylen Brown pretty much only knows one way to play basketball. And that's kind of the issue with him. As good as he is, there are diminishing returns with the style that he plays. But I think, he's probably just going to play the same way when he gets the ball. I'm just curious how much they are going to give him the ball, how much they're going to play through him. Obviously, when they stagger lineups and some of those guys are going to be sitting, then he's going to have the ball plenty. But I am curious to see what the role looks like when they've got all their starters out there and just kind of the way they play. But I mean, talent-wise, even at this stage in LeBron's career. I mean, he still averaged over 20 a game last year on a team that wasn't in terrific shape all season from a health standpoint. So, yeah, I'm excited to see kind of this experiment and how it plays out and what the roles look like for each of those guys in particular.
Are the 76ers unquestionably the number one team in the East, even with the Knicks coming back with the title and everybody else that made moves and attempted to get better?
No, I think you have to defer to the Knicks at this point because we've seen what it looks like, and what it looks like is obviously good enough to win a title because that's what they just did. I mean, losing Mitchell Robinson, going from him to Drummond is a downgrade, but they kept pretty much everybody else of substance. And I think obviously they weren't a dominant team during the regular season last year, where they only won like 53 games or whatever, which is good, but it's not anything special. But I think they also changed the way they played down the stretch in the postseason. And we'll see kind of what version of Cat they get for the regular season. But I think just because we know it works and there's less health concerns on that team, that you have to, at this point, and if you're doing power rankings, I think you've got to have the Knicks number one in the East. But after that, I mean, I think that the Sixers have as much of a chance as anybody out there. Because I mean, you look at the other good teams, the other teams in consideration, like they've got all questions too, and their questions are about the teams as constructed. And like the Cavaliers, you just at this point you can't trust them to actually get it done in the playoffs. So would you rather have an unknown of the Sixers team coming together, or a team that we've seen have not be able to get over the hump multiple times? And you've got the Jalen Duren situation with the Pistons and them still figuring that out. And trust me, I know things probably don't really turn out well at the end of a kind of a restricted free agency standoff with a big man who wants more than the team was willing to give him.
Mm-hmm.
I have experienced that with my own team, and it did not go well. So even if they get kind of a deal that they're willing to accept at the end of this, what are the feelings there between Duren and the organization? So and then the Celtics, we'll see. It's a lot of production, a lot of usage, a lot of talent out the door, and I think Paul George is a good fit for a team like the Celtics. But again, like from a health standpoint, how much can you rely on that, and what does it look like now? Is Tatum all the way back to what he was before? So I think there are enough questions about all the other kind of contenders in the East that it's fair to slot the 76ers right up there at number two. But I think you got to give the champs their respect at this point.
It looks like Creighton got a big upgrade in their scout team over the last couple of days. They have acquired Stephen Ashworth, Jemiah Neal, Tyshawn Alexander, although I didn't see Tyshawn running, but quite the scout against these current Jays over the last 48 hours here.
Yeah, it was cool to see kind of the old guys back in town. Had a number of guys, and I'm sure fans probably saw the golf picture from Coach Mack. He actually stopped by practice yesterday as well. But it's cool to see those guys back. Sharif was in there as well. And so giving guys like Justin Carter and Mitch Ballock at times a little help there, not having to rely as much on them for scout team reps. And it's fun to see those guys compete back at it. Steven went on a heater and was launching from 30 feet. Tyshawn made some really nice plays as well, caught fire at times. So I mean the old guys took it to the young guys. They more than held their own. So it's just kind of cool seeing the different eras of Creighton and guys like Sharif Mitchell coming back. And obviously he's a guy that didn't finish his career at Creighton, but he was a Blue Jay. He's having a nice career overseas. Got to talk to him a little bit. He earned a promotion over there to the top league, Hungary. So, and like Fred King stopped by the day before. Didn't get up and down with those guys. I saw him in the gym. So it's just kind of cool seeing them maintain these relationships with guys, whether they finish their career here or not. It's just obviously guys that kind of parted with good feelings on both sides to go get more out of the end of their careers.
No doubt. It's been really cool to see. These assistant coach film breakdowns that they've been doing have been so cool. Yeah. So the most recent one was Mitch's for Wes Enos. And, like you've seen a couple workouts by now. And like, there's this sense that Wes is sort of like the kind of head of the snake, the sort of, I guess I don't know the guy that they sort of needed last year in the sense of the emotional kind of driver of the team. He has a bunch of experience, obviously. What have you seen from him that could potentially lead to the eventual Wes Enos that we see in the season where he is that guy for Creighton this year?
Yeah. Well, first couple things from yesterday, right off the bat, in the film study at the starter practice. He asked questions about something to get clarity for the whole team and for himself, and then he also spoke up later on and like added to what the coaches were saying, kind of helping like, hey, this is how we need to do this, etc. So just kind of continuation of what we've seen, just how vocal he is. And then at the end of practice, they were going up and down, and his team was down 2 on the last play, and he was not going for the tie, and came off tiny little window to get off a 3, stepped into it and buried it, jumping around, hyped up after that. So that was kind of how he ended practice. And he I mean, at probably the last open practice for like where a bunch of people were there, he didn't play nearly as well as he did the previous time, but he bounced back after that and has said has played well since I've been watched last few practices. So kind of the question that I am curious, you mentioned that Mitch's film study and showing some of the things that he does beyond just shooting, because obviously that was kind of the main draw when they got him. That's what his role was at South Florida. I am curious to see kind of how, like, what the role he settles into is, and like how much outside of that shooting kind of translates to the Big East level. I don't think he's one-dimensional by any means, but I don't know quite how like consistent he's going to be as kind of an overall offensive driver. So that's kind of something hard to gauge from just kind of inter squad scrimmages. Is okay, what is this going to look like when the bullets are flying? You got scouting reports and everything, and you're playing against all Big East defenders and things like that. So I don't quite know yet, like, how to project. All right, he's going to average this and this and be this for this team. But you're seeing the skill set and you're seeing the personality to be, regardless of what he ends up averaging numbers wise. He's going to be a really important piece for this team. And like you said, kind of a voice, and from a competitive standpoint, a guy that really could have helped them last year.
We talked earlier in the show kind of about what NIL coaches are saying about NIL and college basketball and the roster costs and all of it, and then about just what it means for the Big East. Are you envisioning, Jacob, as we went through this transfer portal cycle where it felt like a lot of Big East teams got better, that this conference could be really competitive in the middle next season? It sort of was, to the point where there was a lot of like mediocre teams this past year, but it feels like a lot of them elevated and helped themselves in the offseason.
I would agree. I think like collectively, a lot of these teams across the league, like, all right, we got to step up. And because the last few years, the league hasn't kind of had the postseason representation that it's had in the past, or that it would like to have, and for kind of where the league has been previously. So you definitely saw some investment from multiple teams that made a jump. We'll see. You never quite know. Obviously, we saw that firsthand last year, how a like transfer portal class is gonna play out. People talk about you'd rather go get a finished product, what you're getting from the portal, than recruiting high school guys. But even transfer guys, you don't necessarily know how they're going to play at their next stop, especially guys that are dramatically changing levels or styles and all that type of thing. So it's not necessarily just on paper is how it's going to play out, but yeah, I think Creighton got better. Providence made a big jump. I think Villanova is going to be solid again. So you're starting to see teams kind of jump up into that middle of NCAA tournament contention, especially with the expanded field, while UConn and St. John's continue to operate at the top. Although the Downey Freeman injury, I think, is a big blow for St. John's just in terms of their overall talent level and roster balance. I think he was going to be a big piece for them, but they still got a lot of firepower. And they're still going to be a really good team. So, yeah, we're starting to see teams make moves to kind of move up. Getting some feedback here. Anyway, yes, you're correct. I think the Big East is going to be quite a bit better this year. I think we're going to be a little deeper in terms of teams that are in contention for the postseason. And I think that was needed, and it's something they're going to have to, one, live up to and then capitalize and build on moving forward because, like you said, everything is kind of escalating around the country.
All right, Jacob, good to talk as always. We'll let you go. Appreciate you taking the time, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Bye.
Jacob Padilla from Herd at Sports. Good stuff from him. He's all over the Creighton stuff. One of the things that Matt consistently mentioned with Creighton was he would just kind of throw it in there from time to time. You're like, oh, he thinks this is a big deal. And it was a tough season last year, but he wanted them to celebrate what they were, the wins more. Sure. He wanted them to have more fun. I'm getting that sense from this team, partly because it's new.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a fresh new.
There's a freshness about it, and then what they're doing, obviously on the defensive end, like it's a challenge, it's an undertaking. But I sense from being around them that there is a real, that they're going to have that sort of element to them this year. Which, I mean, that is so much at the core, at the DNA of really any good basketball team, but certainly Creighton over the years. I mean. The pumping up of Ashworth is a great example of it. Yeah. Ashworth and his antics and telling people to go to sleep or whatever. Like that's just always been a part of Creighton basketball. And so I hope that's there a little bit more this year. Guys having fun. It sounds really simple and rudimentary, but I think that'll kind of be bad.
I mean, it's the difference, like Nebraska-izing what you're saying there. It's the difference between the 23-24 season and then the 24-25 season and then 25-26 bookends, really exciting, demonstrative, a lot of enthusiasm about stuff. Casey obviously on one end of it and then Braden Frager on the other end of it. And then in between you have the Bryce Williams led where everything felt like it was work.
Yeah.
Like a chore. Yeah. Like every possession.
And that was kind of Bryce's. That was kind of his.
That was like Bryce is not, he's not outwardly demonstrative. Yeah. He's not like a really vocal guy. And that's not to say like there's no fault to him. He was a first team all Big Ten player. He carried that team, but they missed that piece. Like they missed that Casey piece. They missed that, rink piece to it. Obviously you get the leadership, but there's something to that emotional stability that can also get you fired up to play basketball alongside that guy.
Yeah, I think they'll have a little bit more of that. There's definitely a seriousness to Enos about his game, but Jacob mentioned, I think, a really key part. The leadership from the leadership perspective. I was in a meeting a couple of years ago when I was on the road with them and going through film or whatever, and it was Ashworth who was asking these very detailed, specific, like he's been in the system, he knows what's going on, but like, hey, do you want this here? Do you want this here? And like Enos will stop practice and he'll be like, is this right? Is this what we want? Is this what we want? And so he has the early signs of like the coach on the floor guy.
It's good.
Which I think is a really big deal for them.
Especially because it seems like the ball will be in his hands a lot.
It seems like it. Yeah. Let's take a quick break. We'll round things out with our accountability coming up on 1620 The Zone. All right, final couple minutes here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you as we get ready to round things out. And you have not been around for the last week or so. At the end of the show, we decided that we want to hold ourselves accountable. Will it improve? Will it make us improve? We hope. Although we don't know for sure.
You never know.
You never know. But we do like to say the things that we got wrong out loud.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for accountability.
All right. So earlier in the show, I said that Minnesota owned Iowa. In fact, that they had lost 10 out of their last 11 to them. So that was not real.
They did win that one.
They did win that one game. And also, most notably, I think for me, I made the mistake of mowing my lawn last night and nearly died of heat stroke.
What time did you start?
Like 4 or 5. I mean, just
when
complete.
The sun was just at its apex.
My plan was to just do the trimming, and so that I could do the mowing on a different day, like today, a little less.
Split it up a little bit.
Yeah. And then I was like, I don't like the look of this right now. I'm going to mow now. Terrible idea. Disgusting.
You just sat inside the cold after that.
Awful idea. And I got inside. I was like, I think I'm gonna throw up. I didn't throw up, but
at least
like
you weren't.
the early stages of heat stroke.
At least you're not eating 3 hot dogs and chugging down 3 beers.
That would have definitely
gotten
made me
you
throw
there.
up. Yeah, that would have definitely made me throw up. But I survived. I'm alive, and my lawn is mowed. So
that's what matters.
That's my accountability.
Yeah. I just go back yesterday. I played in a golf event. It was a scramble. I offered 0 made putts. I think I putted first or second on 18 holes and never once made a putt.
But you did not crash the cart.
No, the carts were fine. It's the first time I've ever played anywhere where the cart doesn't have like the magnetic thing. So the Bluetooth speaker that saved my ankle could not actually.
What was it?
I don't know what the frame was made out of.
It was plastic?
They had like a little addition that they added on that was magnetic that people could put their
phones.
Because a lot of people just have magnetic stuff that they use.
Right.
But
most people's rangefinder is magnetic.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
And so I've never had that experience before where the cart frame is that way. Other things that I've noticed that I've messed up. Yesterday I sent a text trying to say the word noon. I didn't realize this until today. It apparently was so badly mangled that I had wrote the word boob, and then this never got pointed out. So instead of noon, the text was boob.
Would you like to come on my podcast at boob?
Basically, yes.
Interesting.
We would start at boob.
And did this
this person
understood it?
Shockingly, never brought this up.
But they understood.
No, they just sent along their email to get the link.
Okay. Send me the link at boob.
Yeah. I just saw that today, and it's like one of those where instinctively it's like I wanted to edit it. You can't. Way past the expiration date.
Too late. Okay, that's good. That's good accountability.
Well, I am holding myself accountable for not blaring my horn and calling out the idiot drivers out in the metro for nearly causing an accident. Like nearly crashing into my car. I'm at a 4-way stop, and it's already my turn. There's obviously a bus that went before me obstructing other people's views. So I was about ready to go. This car just goes right in front of me. I didn't honk my horn. Then I'm starting to turn, and then this truck starts heading towards my way, nearly clipping me.
You do got to let them know, Joey.
Yeah.
So yeah, let them know.
It was one of those moments. But yeah, I'm glad nothing terrible has happened, but
let them know.
Just take turns. Learn some driving etiquette.
Yeah, nobody
crying out loud.
Nobody
I feel like
has
Joey
that.
could have accountability for other Omaha drivers every day.
That's for sure.
Yes.
You have a little bit of road rage, Joey.
Yes, I do, and no one's really seen the full extent of
Oh,
that.
I've seen a couple videos.
It's out there.
No, that's calm Joey road rage.
Oh my God.
There's a more extreme level to that,
Right.
and I don't know if you want to see that.
All right, well, hold yourself
Kinda do.
accountable to it.
Got it from the mother.
Keep the edited videos. Put the edited videos out there and keep the director's cuts to yourself. I
Yes.
suppose.
I'll
All right,
leave it.
that's gonna do it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. We have a crossover coming up next with Matt on 1620 The Zone.